This is the first one I've done from the bedroom. What kind of party is this? Anyway, let me just have to find my feet. Oh, sorry. It's a commercial. It's a commercial leading into my thing. Yeah, what have we been up to lately? Let me just get this. This is on the freaking bed. Woo, help me. Anyway, we still have a commercial playing here. Skip trial, live chat. It's easier if I look at your comments on here. It's good lighting in here. I kind of like it. I look younger. Not really, no. Not really. Skip ad. There you go. I can watch myself and see the comments. There you go. Well, first of all, Shannon broke her foot in two places. I put that on the community section of our site just to let people know. Okay, hold on. Teddy, what are you saying? It's not come up on here yet. Jean, bonjour from the USA. Any Journey news? They are dragging their feet. No, they're still working on it. John Zeka, we're going to release this probably tomorrow. John Zeka and some good friends have released their version of Open Arms by Journey. And it's incredible. If you can imagine, if someone released Open Arms, unless they're sort of a Celine Dion type singer, Journey's Open Arms, unless they want to sing big like that, it would sound similar to the Journey thing without maybe the rockish part. But John Zeka, who's Bobby Kimball's producer, and no, Bobby's not doing well, by the way, they released this new version, totally rearranged, and we'll present it on our sister channel, because I don't put music on Rock History Music. I'm deathly afraid of losing my channel. Rick Beato has run into this a lot, and I certainly don't want to. So I don't want to put. So that's my Journey news. Kim Trickle, hi John. Maria Day, hi. You two are such great supporters. Maria, you're right. Open Arms is a difficult song to sing well, to sing right. So that's the way it goes. The reason I'm in the bedroom right now is, look, I got some stuff sticking up here. Is they're rewiring the whole neighborhood for 4K or whatever it is. They're rewiring it, the whole thing, and they have these trucks and they have these big. You can hear. It sounds like someone's cleaning their ducts. You know that same noise. So they have these things that are about this big, and they take the ground out, and then they're rewiring the whole neighborhood, and it's really loud, but it's okay because it's for a good cause, so it's all good. But anyway, Shannon broke her foot in two places. She was cleaning up the front. We have a cement front. I'll show you. The neighborhood's basically like that. Can you see that? They're all kind of like houses like that. Every one of them, 2-car garage in front. They all kind of look the same. All the houses. There's like 3 different designs in the neighborhood. We have kind of like the middle tier. 1,850 square feet in our house. Nice size. We like it. Moved here. We've been here for 14 years, something like that. So Shannon was, cleaning the front, and she missed a step and fell on, she thought, her foot. And she came in very calmly and she said, John, put your sneakers on. I think I broke my foot. We're going to the hospital. So, and I thought to myself, I broke my arm a few years ago, and I kind of went into shock a little bit, and I'd never broken a bone before. Any one of you who's broken a bone, you know that. It's a strange feeling. It's a dull, strong feeling. It's really, it can be different depending upon what bone you break. But I remember going, it's so strong of a feeling, and I went into shock. I fell off my bike. There was a big construction thing, and I tried to block my son from falling into the hole. And by doing so, I almost fell into the hole. Maria Day, the gentleman who sings it, who's going to be on our broadcast tomorrow, I will put a link to it on this site. He works with John Zeka. I won't give up too much right now, but anyway, he didn't want to sing it like Steve Perry. The drummer didn't want to drum on it like a Steve Smith. So it's reinvented. It's really well done. Kirk Randall rocks. Hello there, brother. Just came on. Wanted to ask You enjoying the music I sent you? What did you send me? What did you send? I get sent a lot of music, so you have to clarify what that. Is it Kirk Randall's on? And when did you send it to me? Sean Barnes, hello, hello all. Kirk, oh wow, sorry to hear that. Get well, Shannon. Teddy Bates, thank you. Good lighting in here, huh? I like the lighting in here. I've never really. I did one video in here for Aircom Radio Network, which was hi Chris, thank you. All the best to Shannon, Dave264, Dave, M Howell 99. Love Mark Farner interview. Shea Stadium concert still incredible. 50 years. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Chris Hooker, hi John. Marie Day, am I making too much comments on your different channels? No, why? No, not at all. What? Kirk Randall rocks on Facebook Messenger. Oh, I'll have to check. Get well, Shannon. M Howell 99. Thank you very much. It's very nice of you. So our input. Well, I was going to say it slowed down in the last week and a half. It hasn't slowed down because we work ahead, right? But what I'm saying is we were going to put up more interviews because we have a backlog of interviews. Steve Lukather, a fourth interview, second interview with Joseph Williams of Toto, coming up on the 20th. They're releasing the live album that week, and we're going to start putting up that stuff. Joe Williams talks about the real Pamela, the real one, the actress. We talk about the actual actress that Pamela is based on, and also the actress who plays Pamela in the video. Someone tracked her down for me a little while ago. She's a beautiful girl. She still looks like the Pamela from the video. Baltazar, she's married to Baltazar Getty. Anyway, so she's done okay. She's become a socialite though, a lot of money. Kirk, send it to me on my email. It's just if you forget, anyone who wants to send me an email, it's on the about. All the captions. You have community videos, blah blah blah. At the very end, there's an about tab on our channel, and my email address is there. It's just John Beaudin at iCloud.com. When I got a Mac, I changed to that. I used to have John at johnbeaudin.com because I own johnbeaudin.com, luckily, or JB. JB I think still works in the other, but just do John. I don't even know why I said that out loud. John Beaudin at iCloud.com. So just send it to me there. I'm terrible on Messenger. So by the way, I get well, Shannon. Hi, Tim P. Glad you're on here. Greetings, John and Shannon. Kieran J. Phillips. Hey, John, watching here from Australia. Hope you're doing good. Where are you in Australia, by the way? Teddy Bates, have you heard the new Corey Hart? I've been trying to get an interview with Corey, and I gotta go back. There's no reason for us at, what are we, at 83,000 subscribers? There's no reason we can't get Corey Hart. Nothing gets him. But we're a big enough channel to get him. So anyway, I was contacting the record rep directly, and Corey was going to get back to him, and I never heard back. So I've got to follow through because I really want to talk to Corey Hart. I have heard it and I like it. Loving your Kenny Loggins interviews from Kieran J. Phillips. Thank you. He was everyone says the same thing. He's such a nice man. And that's nice to hear, right? You don't want to have your heroes turn out, they never meet your heroes well. Anyway. I'm Pulsar Lights. I'm not following the playoffs. I know that's awful. I stopped following it. Tim P, what's your take on the Junos from Sunday? I was a judge at the Junos 2 years, which says in my bio, and they send you. I don't know if they still do that. I don't know how they do it now. It's been years. It's been over 12 years since I was a judge, but they sent me this big fancy book, right? And my name's in it as a judge. It's really nice, but it's a beautiful book. If you're a judge, that's what they say thank you with. Back then they sent me a big box of CDs to listen to, and I listened to every single one of them. Oh, Melbourne in state of Victoria. Thanks, Kieran. Kirk Randall rocks on your YouTube channel. Email, yeah. It's just John Beaudin at iCloud.com. Go Habs, go. Mark, I agree with you. I've always been a Montreal Canadiens fan. At first, it was a Montreal Canadiens because of Ken Dryden. I was a goalie. My entire hockey life was playing goalie. I still have my equipment downstairs. My Jacques Plante mask, I still have it. My Cooper GM. I didn't have GM 12 gloves and blocker and catcher. I had GM 10, but they look very similar. Still have my goalie pads. Can't give them up. Not ready yet. I can't give them up. So, because I love Ken Dryden, and then I became a Flyers fan because I love Bernie Perrant even more than Ken Dryden. I just loved the way Bernie played. And I got a chance to meet Bernie. I've got a picture with Bernie downstairs. Maria Day, thank you for asking Kenny how he and Steve Perry got together. Was that your idea, Maria? Someone asked me to ask that. I was going to ask it anyway, because how could you not? Karen, so refreshing. He's got a good attitude. Yeah, it's very true. It's nice to see some of these guys. I have an announcement to make. I should make this announcement. And you know what? There are moments where in this channel, and who knows, he may be watching. There are moments when, as I've been doing this channel, that I felt a certain sense of pride. And I do a lot because it's important to me. What I do here at 61 years old, to me, is probably better than anything I've done in my broadcasting career. The good thing is I can, unlike having calls at a radio station, this is different where I get to speak to you guys directly, and with upcoming technology, we'll be able to talk face to face if you want to on a weekly basis. We're going to have a sort of a let's talk about music thing with people all over the world. It's kind of a Zoom thing. One will be private, and one will be online. You can choose which one you want to take. But my news today is, at last I can announce, it hasn't happened yet, and the rule in radio is don't announce it till you get it, but this is not radio, this is YouTube. Dennis DeYoung specifically asked Dennis DeYoung, formerly of Styx, specifically asked to be interviewed by our channel, by me. I almost fell off my chair. John, the promotions guy, got a hold of me and he said, can you do an interview with, first of all, he says, can you do an interview with Dennis DeYoung next week? I said, I'm free next week. I don't have one interview, right? I love those weeks. Sometimes you can just rest a little bit. I love doing interviews, but sometimes you got to be on to do an interview. You got to do a lot of research. Everyone thinks that listens to radio that somehow we just get behind the microphone and we don't research things. We have to. You can't rely on your memory. And your memory, remember I said, even Phil Collins gets dates wrong. We got to look back. So Dennis DeYoung specifically asked for me to interview him next week, and I will do that. If you have questions for him, just put him here. I'm going to ask about Styx and what's going on with that. I'm going to ask him about his new album, Part 2. But I felt, Dennis is one of my all-time favorite singers and songwriters, all time. I was a huge Styx fan. That big wall that I have at home where all the emblems are, I don't know if I have it here to show you. Hold on. I should actually show you this in case you haven't, you've probably seen it, but anyway, hold on. Let me show you today. Okay, it's in Rock History. If you go into Rock History Canada, the Facebook page. Oh, hold on. I don't know if I can do this. How do I do this? Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's Shannon standing in front of it there. Too bad you can't really see it. See that? See that wall there with all, I know it's fuzzy. That's Shannon standing in front of my bedroom wall, and it's still like that. I don't know if I can find you the picture. Just give me a second. Just humor me for a second. I'll find you a picture of it. I'm proud of this wall. I mean, it's a little gaudy now. I look at it. I'm going, well, but let me see. All pictures? See if I can find it for you. Oh, hold on. There's Shannon. Here's Shannon's foot. Look at underneath it. Look at that. She broke it in 2 places. It's awful. Okay, I know you might not want to look at a foot, but look how green that is. Huh? But anyone who's broken something knows all about that. This is not anything specific or brand new. I mean, when you break something, it hurts and it makes a. I'm looking for the picture so I can show you. Oh, there's Shannon and our daughter. There's Shanny Poohead. So we call her around here, Shanny Poohead. Hold on, let me find the picture of. I have so many pictures I save. You know, when people on YouTube they'll do the 10 best songs from that year. I save all those pictures every time. And Shannon says, you have so much junky pictures. Oh, here it is. This is it. Here's my wall. I drew all that. That's black light paint. I interviewed Joey Mullen, yeah. Denny Lane, no. I should track down Denny Lane. He probably has some good Paul McCartney stories. And of course, Moody Blues. Go now. Go now. That's Shanny on my walls. There you go. Isn't that cool? It's still in my bedroom at home. When my mother sells her house, and that's black light paint. So when you I'll show you again. When you light it up with black light, it's unfreaking believable. It lights out completely. People are always saying, how can Toto not be there? Because I'd finished by 77, 78, I'd already finished the whole blueprint of it, and I didn't want to change anything. I did have the Bay City Rollers down there, believe it or not, because I love their emblem, and I like the Bay City Rollers. I don't want to be one of those people who, like I said in the Les McEwen, hold on, let me find myself again. Hold on. Look, I look like a crazy person. Look at, what the hell? Okay, let me get back to the comments. Anyway, that's how I spent between breaking up with girlfriends, because I had two main girlfriends in high school, Dawn and Sue, who are dear friends of mine now. Especially Dawn is one of my best friends in the world, my high school sweetheart. We click so well as friends. If we would have stayed together, we'd hate each other now because we were so young. We're not ready to be in a lifelong relationship. But Dawn, I love the girl, inside and out. But as a friend, we never talk about us going out together. It doesn't come up. But when I was going out with Dawn, she broke up with me, probably because I was too clingy. And then I started doing the wall one day. I just started doing the wall. I started with April Wine. Then I did Chicago. I can show you this. This might be of interest. Did I lose it again? My God. I'll show you how I started the wall. I'm very proud of it, even though it looks a little gaudy, because it's aft. Oh, there. So when I did this, I started with, see April Wine right there, right here. I started with that, and then I branched out from there. I did Chicago, Styx is there. I did Heart. I think I might have done Pablo Cruz after that, BTO, and I went up. Right, and then the Bond, which was a Canadian band, right here beside the Doobie Brothers. There were just a lot of. I was a very CanCon conscious guy as far as Canadian music. I loved Canadian music. That's why I have the channel Rock History Canada, and the Red Octopus Jefferson Airplane right there. You can see it, right, and then Sweet. Status Quo, it's status quo in North America, I know, but people in England, they got on me because I said status. Trooper was one of the first ones I did, right beside Shannon's head, right here. And then, like I said, the Eagles, yeah, Firefall I did, tried to do that little inside thing with them. So whenever people, as we get to know each other a little bit, we get to know each other's, isms a little bit more, things we did when we were young. And thank you for the folks who, this is not about, my relationships or, but thank you for the folks who said they appreciated, insights on where I came from before. Anyway, Dennis DeYoung on Monday. That's one of the proudest moments I've had on this channel, and I doubt if he's watching. But Dennis, thank you for knowing our channel and knowing my work. you have no idea what that means to me, that he specifically asked for our channel. He said, contact Rock History Music, and that guy, that John Beaudin guy. So that's nice. The fact that he knows who I am and knows my work means so incredibly much to me, because I have so much respect for the man. It's going to be fun. I look forward to it. I don't remember the last time I've looked forward to an interview like this. I still want to get Lou Gramm, though. Damn, I got to get Lou Gramm. Okay, we're going back to the comments. James Bashirs, good evening. How's everyone? James, I hope you're still here. Sorry, I've been going off now for a few minutes. Safe and sound. Would love to see a full-fledged Journey reunion. I would too. I don't think it's going to happen. Not that Trev Lukather told me anything specific, because Trev knows him incredibly well, like really well. And I didn't ask Trev to hook me up with Steve Perry, but I just said, if Steve ever asks you, just put a good word in. But I do not want you to reach out. Please don't do that. I don't want to put you in that situation. Not that I won't in the future. And by the way, like I said a while ago, in case you missed it, the Joseph Williams, Steve Lukather interviews are separate. I didn't want to interview them together, because I felt that I'd just get half the time. We'll start on June 20th. I think we might put them both on the same day. There will never be a full reunion of Journey. Yeah, I agree. Bernie Garzio. Hey, John, did you ever interview Denny Lane? Joe, I already answered that. Joey Mullen, we did, but his connection was really bad. And I had to transcribe every word, and we only put one part of it out. I will get to it. I'm going to have to get Shannon to transcribe it for me. And I hate transcribing interviews. It's just, great. Get John questions. Did Mr. Roboto cause the strains in the band and led to his departure? I think a lot of things did. I think there's going to be bad, no matter what side you take, there's going to be bad blood in bands no matter what. It just happens. You're together that many times for that long. You get one major cook in the kitchen. It's like people hating Don Henley. I mean, you can hate him all you want, but they wouldn't be where they're at without Don Henley. And if he was untoward now and then for stuff, I'm not making excuses for him. I can see how Don Henley can be a difficult guy to work with, but he was a main reason the Eagles were the Eagles, I think. Anyway. So have you made arrangements to remove the wall, Floyd the Barber? We have not. We're going to keep it there. In the future, we're moving there to New Brunswick. I'm not sure when, but we have plans to eventually move back to New Brunswick. Shannon's idea, not mine. We're not sure when we're going to do that. So because of that, I don't want to remove the wall. I will be there when my mother has to sell that house. It's a little bungalow, little yellow bungalow. It's a beautiful house. And we've already had people say, well, you know what? They're going to ask for that wall. They're not going to they're going to say, I'll buy the house as long as I get the wall or something. And I'll never let that go into someone else's hands. I couldn't imagine someone, doing selfies with my wall behind them. That wall is so personal to me. There's a possibility that I would destroy it if I was on my deathbed. I don't know. Or I would give it to someone I really trusted. There's no price I can put to that wall. That everything. And nothing was traced, by the way. I didn't trace anything. I did it all freehand. I should point that out. That's important. How could you trace it anyway? It's a freaking wall. So there you go, Floyd the Barber. Doug's Guitar Works. Love Chicago and April Wine. I do too. We're working on Jason Chef right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. Great job on Tim P. On John Farner, you mean Mark Farner, made me bring out my old Grand Funk Railroad albums. You know what it did for me the first time? Sir Crutch, Bluesman, damn go away. You're no good for me. I don't know. Okay. Raymond Rodriguez, where's the Grand Funk Railroad pointing finger? Oh yeah, it's not on there. I don't think I put Grand Funk on there. The video you did in your childhood home was cool. Yeah, I Mullen 25. it was really bad lighting, you know, and I was 58 at the time. I think the last time I was there, 59. You know, you're older. You know, you got holes in your face and stuff, you know. And then I always love it when I get my hair cut this short because people can see, especially on this side, my gray hair. I'm going, I don't dye my hair for the love of God. I dyed this, not anymore. I'm not, I might still dye it. I don't know. I like it. Okay. Okay. Dave 264. The issues between Dennis and Tommy Shaw. I don't know. I've heard that too. I can ask. Gennaro, I can't say the last name. Also, have you ever heard of Charles Vaccaro from Montreal, Quebec? He was in the group Lipstick. They were signed to Whitney Houston's label. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. Should check them out. Stephen Griffin, a guy that has so much rock history with George Harrison and Mick Jones is Gary Wright of Spooky Tooth. I've tried to get Gary. I actually mentioned Steve Porcaro in the letter that I sent Gary Wright because Steve toured with Gary Wright for that Dreamweaver tour. He wasn't on the album, but he toured. And I said, oh, we just talked about, I just said, hey, Gary, it's John Beaudin, Rock History Music. We just interviewed Steve Porcaro. He was saying really nice things about you and the time he spent with you. I would so love to talk to you. And but I never heard back. So if anyone knows Gary Wright, please contact Gary and say I would love to do a whole feature on him. Someone must know Gary Wright. Dreamweaver, I just, what's the name? What's the album after Dreamweaver? I remember I had it as well. And then some of his new agey stuff I played when I played new age music on the radio. Charles Vaccaro's new song is called Can't Stop Running. Send me a link, John Beaudin at iCloud.com. Maria Day, I love Mark and his brother John. Yes, I think he meant Mark Farner, yeah. Floyd the Barber, I've really enjoyed the Bill Schnee interviews. More interviews with producers would be appreciated. I'm thinking of, there's a gentleman, I don't want to, not that I want to jinx it or anything, but there's a gentleman that I'm going to contact, sort of a prog producer in the next few days. I like interviewing producers a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. Here's the thing. Producers come at it from a different angle. Their interviews, Bill Schnee is a great example of that. Please buy his book. Oh my God, his book is good. It's like Kathy Valentine's book from the Go-Go's. It's like, and I've said this before, Kathy's life before she even joined the Go-Go's was so incredibly interesting. And I told her that. I said, and Kathy's a bright cookie. She's a smart girl. But man, she's done stuff. She went out there. She put herself out there. Okay. Bernie Garzio, you should edit the wall into your intro or an extra credits. I've thought of that. Yeah. John McMillan, talked to Andy Latimer lately. How about Ton Sherpenziel? Ton, I can talk to Ton. He's of Kayak, by the way. Kayak's his band, always was. Ton is just probably one of my favorite interviews. The interviews don't do well because a lot of people don't know who they are. Anyone who's curious about Kayak, and if they have a streaming software, go into Royal Bed Bouncer and Phantom of the Night. Those two albums. Just listen to those two albums. If you like prog, listen to Royal Bed Bouncer. Amazing. Oh my God, I love that album. There's stuff on that album that never sounds old. Royal Bed Bouncer, Kayak, spelled just the way Kayak's spelled. Go into your editing software and get back to me. Tell me what you think. Max Werner was their lead singer back then. And I don't know if he got into the bad stuff, but at one point when Phantom of the Night came out, he was their drummer all of a sudden. He wasn't their lead singer. He sang one song, No Man's Land, on the next album. And I remember going, what happened to the lead singer? Why would he become the drummer? Why is the lead singer the drummer? And he sings one song. So Ton told me that he didn't want to be the lead singer anymore. Yeah, but John, but Ruthless Queen isn't known by most people. Most people don't know that. That's a great song. And they had hits um, around the world. Well, of course, they're from Holland. They're a big band there. But I don't know what happened to Max Werner. I don't know if I'd like to interview him. One of my favorite singers of all time. Really. John, thanks for knowing about kayak. Floyd the Barber, take pics of the wall under black lights and post them. I will, and I will probably do it late this summer. Oh, I'm spitting all over myself. That's really attractive. Kirk Randall rocks. You rock, brother. Thanks, Kirk. Appreciate that. Here we are, when I did that wall, 77, 78, when I did that, there's no universe where someone would have told me I'd be sitting in front of a newfangled phone thing, because this is a phone I'm recording with. I'd be talking to people all over the world. You guys are really, really cool. We share a love of this type of music. When I didn't want to do YouTube for a little while, I went, I'm too old to do YouTube. I don't want YouTube. Then I went, well, I'm a broadcaster. I know how to speak. I mean, I do a show every single night in Vancouver. By the way, Genesis, Invisible Touch. I don't even like that album. I don't hate it. It's just one of my least favorite Genesis albums. I never would have thought I'd be doing this. Here we are, all talking. You guys are from all over the world. We have different belief systems, but we all like the mute. Oh, I've got a cramp in my foot. Jesus. Getting old, folks. Anyway, never would have thought this would happen, that here we are, all with a common bond of liking music and being interested in the people who made the music, and who knows how long they'll be around. When I got that call today for Dennis, not the call, but the email about Dennis DeYoung, it just made my day. I went, oh man, that is so, thank you, Dennis DeYoung. And trust me, when I don't do live broadcasts, a lot of times I just feel overwhelmed, and I'm not up to being in front of the camera and stuff. And when I do a live broadcast, I kind of feel like, reaching out to you guys and talking to you. That was a good feeling today, I have to admit. Thank you, Dennis DeYoung. Thank you. You made my day. Can't wait to talk to him. Genesis is coming to Montreal. Indeed, they are. Yes. That's from Gennaro. Hey, dude, I got my ticks for the opening night of, what, you mean Chicago? James Bashir's Life is Sweet. Yep. Toots. Hey, Toots, put your foot on a cold floor to get cramps out. Is that right? Oh, wow. Toots. We're moving back to New Brunswick. We're not sure when. I like power windows. Yeah. Gennaro, John Beaudin, you rock. Thank you for spelling my name right. It's not necessary, but it's nice. Bryce Jacobson. Yes, Bryce Jacobson, Genesis. Oh, I'm not going to see Genesis. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So Genesis is not coming anywhere near. I saw Genesis twice, a self-titled album with Mama on it. I hate that song. And the Duke Tour. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Daryl Sturmer maybe 5 times, 6 times. I think 5 times. When he was doing jazz and I was promoting jazz, and we talked about the reunion tour. He sent me tickets to see Phil in concert in Toronto, but it wasn't his fault. It was his assistant's fault. She didn't know that I was in Calgary. It's not just one of my friends said, oh yeah, Americans, they don't know Canada. I said it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that she didn't know I was in Calgary. I think she thought I was in Toronto. So I told her, I said, I physically couldn't get there. She gave me tickets and backstage passes to meet Phil, because Daryl knew I wanted to meet Phil. And I think Daryl, they got their signals mixed up. I was doing the afternoon drive show here in Calgary, and I went, I couldn't even get on a plane and get there in time. It wouldn't work. So I couldn't go. Floyd the Barber, rest in peace, BJ Thomas. Saw him 5 years ago. He still had a great voice. Is that right? Wow. Bryce, gonna be what? I don't know what that means. Toots, rid of what? I don't know what's going on here. Are we living in an alternate? I don't know what you guys are saying. Ron, Rockstar Media. Hey, man. Nice to have you back. My least fave Genesis album is We Can't Dance. Yeah, not to... That sounds good, John. New Brunswick wants you. Yeah, we're moving back. We just don't know when yet. We have to plan our, and there's I want to visit, the eastern states. I've visited all the western states, and I'd like to get to know, I mean, obviously Maine is hooked on to New Brunswick. Everyone goes to Bangor, but I want to go to Vermont. I want to go to Boston, Massachusetts. I want to go to New York. I've never been to these places. I want to go back to Prince Edward Island. I want to go to Nova Scotia more. I want to explore New Brunswick even more. There's so many things I want to do on the East Coast that it's time to go. We just don't know when we're going, but we're definitely going. It's not a maybe anymore. We know we're coming back too. We'd like to perhaps help sponsor the Rock and Roll Festival in Miramichi, where I'm from. I'm from Northeast New Brunswick. Look it up, Miramichi. It's spelled. It's a beautiful area, and we would, in fact, move back to my town. We just have to do some planning. But we have made up our mind, and I'm not retiring. I like what I'm doing. My son's thinking of taking over all this, because he's part of it anyway. He edits every video you see. He edits basically every video, and especially on Rock History Book, the other channel, because that's more like a book. Like a Rock History Book is more like a documentary style. 5 singers who died on stage, 5 singers from the 5 best singers from Chicago, stuff like that. Oh, Ron Rockstar Media, you met Phil Collins. He was really nice. I don't know how to say your username, Chan. Man, I miss Calgary so much. Great place to eat and stay. Yes. How's the weather in Calgary? Today, Ken from Scotland. Today it's a little overcast. So let me show you. Can I go over there? Hey, let's go see my neighborhood. You guys want to come? You guys want to walk around my neighborhood? Who do I sound like? These are the people in my neighborhood. My. This is our backyard. Hold on. Can I even lift this thing? Okay, hold on. This is our backyard. It's a little overcast today. We have nothing in our backyard. Let's go visit. Let's go see. I'll show you what they're doing in the front yard. You don't want to see me up that close. What the hell? Oh, my. Hey, Shannon, say hi to everybody. We're not going to show you on camera. Say hi. Hi. She broke her foot in 2 places. Poor girl. You knew I'd have you on video today. This is our neighborhood. So all the houses kind of look the same. They're really close together. Look how close they are. We have the nicest tree in the whole neighborhood. It's beautiful. Hey, Shan. Shan. Yes? What type of tree do we have in the front yard?
Sorry, John, I can't hear you.
What kind of tree do we have in the front yard?
Oh, it's a crab mountain ash.
Crab Mountain Ash. And this is a beautiful park that we have. This is a beautiful park we have. There's a school on the right-hand side of all those houses. But that opens up to this huge space with a man-made lake. It's just incredibly gorgeous. Reconnect. We're reconnected. Sorry about that. We officially went off. Toots, hi. John McMillan broke her foot. Kicking your butt. Yeah. One thing I liked about Shannon when I met her is, and I've never been with, I can't say that I've ever been with a woman who let me get away with anything. And I like that. I like strong women. I like being challenged. And Shannon has always been, I've never met I've always been with really, really strong, intelligent, but women who like to kick my butt. Oh, and I deserve it most of the time. So there. What is that? Is that a snake? What is that? Oh, I don't know. We just painted the entire house. That's why I'm paranoid. I just saw. Oh, that's that's on the screen. Oh God. Broke her foot kicking your butt. Yes. Nice black truck out front. Yeah, that's the next door neighbor's son. It's always parked there, and we don't own the street, so you can't do anything about it. I would I like it not staring at that truck all every day? Well, I don't stare at the truck, and they're good people. We're not close to them, but they're good people. Oh, you have friends? I'll just call you Chan. I can't say the beginning. Galaxy Chan? I don't know what that would be. I have friends who play in Calgary Fiddlers, missing the live music so much. Oh, have you ever eaten at the Holy Grill yet? No, I don't know where it is. I don't eat out a lot. Even before COVID, I don't eat out a lot. Floyd the Barber, is John gone or is it me? It was just we lost our connection. I'm way behind in this feed here. Okay. Thank you for the Paul Carrick interview. I had not heard his name since the 80s. I had no idea how prolific of an artist he was. I'm a fan of contemporary stuff. Thanks. Nicole, is it Nicole Murphy? You're very welcome. I don't know why I'm frozen up. I'm frozen here. Bing. Anyway, I just want to let you know about what's coming up in the channel. We have a lot of sort of secondary players, and I don't mean that of disrespect, people that it's artists you should know. Not that you don't know them. You may not. Also, a few promoters we're going to interview just because they have interesting stories to tell about, like Zeppelin and Chuck Berry and James Brown, just some of the innovators. Paul Carrick is in the group Mike and the Mechanics. Yes, he was. Well, he is not anymore. He hasn't been for a few years now. But he was one of their singers. And he said during the interview he would probably never go back. He's kind of done with that. So that's okay. Sometimes, especially when you're getting to an age of your 60s and 70s, and I'm kind of like that, you become more discerning. Hello. So what are you thinking about, Mr. Dog? You become discerning on what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. Don't you find that as you're getting older, you kind of go, I had a psychic friend. Her name was DeYoung. I'd be really curious. It'd be so funny if someone says, I know her. And DeYoung and I used to see each other every single day. She was one of my best friends in the world. A gorgeous woman inside and out, just a beautiful person. But we started getting on each other's nerves near the end of our friendship. And I'd just love to know where she is. DeYoung used to say, if it doesn't give you joy and nourishment, don't do it. And that's oversimplifying things because there's a lot to going to see a friend or going to a concert, or not about COVID. I'm just saying going in general. There's a lot to that. You got to bring yourself up and present yourself and share stuff and be vulnerable and laugh and all that fun stuff that is good for you, but you don't always feel like doing it. When you're doing it, you're glad you did it, right? You always come back from a party going, man, I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went. DeYoung used to always say, yeah, if it doesn't give you joy and nourishment, don't do it. And she was a very wise woman. She was a psychic, like I said, and a lot of what she said was pretty bang on. But of course, DeYoung knew me incredibly well. I mean, we saw each other, like I said, every day. Every day. We go do something, or at least we talk on the phone. But it was rare for us not to see each other. We became like such good friends, and all our friends used to say, why don't you date this girl? I'm going, I don't know, just I don't feel it. Do I recognize that she's beautiful? Yes, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling it in that way. So she used to say that. As I get older, as I'm getting discerning, I think of what DeYoung said. I'm going, does that person in my life, is that person sucking me dry, or am I just not interested in their story anymore? Or am I losing my compassion? Should I be there? And you balance all that stuff out. The bottom line is you check out, make sure that you're hanging with the right people, right? And I think that's important. Every artist I talk to gives me some semblance of what I just said, of the fact that they might not use the word discerning, but they're being more, they choose carefully on what they have in their lives. I just interviewed a guy who's going through a divorce. I think his second or third divorce. I don't know. That's not important. But when I was interviewing him, he was just alone in his house. Some of you will figure out who that is. But I remember going, yeah, he just wants to chat. He's not lonely. He's not desperate. He's none of those things. Highly educated man. And I went, well, I'm just going to, this is an opportunity for me just to chat with him. Most of the stuff that I chat about, I will not use in the interview because it's too personal or it's just not relevant. And he didn't say off the record with anything. I reminded him now and then. He said, no, that's fine. I'm aware I'm being interviewed, but I'm enjoying our chat. And I thought to myself, he was basically telling me that he's being more careful as well. Look at what Kenny Loggins said. I wish some people would have warned me about some women. Yeah, you always feel that, You always feel that, it's them. But that's a joke, right? He was just being joke. Kenny Loggins is such a nice man. God, what a nice man. Okay. Let's get back to some questions. Then I will go record my show. I would be interested in hearing from Dave Clark about working with Freddie Mercury on Time. Time is one of my favorite songs, such a tour de force. Paul Carrick I knew we read that already. Darren, finally, good afternoon. Queen, you're back. Nice to see you. You just talked to Mr. Dog, haha. Toots, move back to the East Coast and buy a Trans Am. I don't think I had a Trans Am. Remember I told you in 78, I love my Trans Am. I love my Trans Am. I think I've got a picture of it. I know, indulge me. Indulge me. Someone wanted me to show the wall again. I don't know if I can find it again. Bing, 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 bing. Again, here it is. I'm very, very, very proud of this wall that I did in high school. That's Shani. So I don't know who asked to see it again, but then it's all black light paint on the top, just above Shannon's head in the corner, that's yellow, and then Pink Floyd beside it. I don't know why I did Pink Floyd that way. Let me see. It's getting kind of blurry. Then Rush. See, Rush is not even finished. The white on the outside of Rush is not even finished. The Doobie Brothers is not finished. Doobie is done, but there's more like this side of it here is not done. That's done with a whole bunch of little dots of black light paint. This side's not done. Then we had bands like Lynx beside Shannon's head there. The hometown band behind her head, which was Avaldi. Oh, look at this guy. He don't care what nobody says. Anyway, what do I do here? Okay, I'm about to show you my Trans Am. You didn't ask for it, but I'm showing you. Do. I don't know if I can find it. I don't know if I have it. I was showing someone the other day my 78 gold Trans Am with a funky chicken on the hood. I always called it a funky chicken. So Toots, this is for you. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, I'm getting dizzy going through these. There's a picture of Mark Andes of Heart and Firefall I just went through. I liked him a lot. He was a nice guy. He had mentioned that they didn't put her on. There was some concert thing they were doing, and some people didn't want her to do it because of her weight problem. I don't know. I don't get the weight thing with Ann Wilson. I think she's beautiful. I've always thought she was a beautiful, beautiful lady. I don't care what weight she's at. I never changed my mind about her. Oh, Lord, I lost it. Nope, hold on. One last chance here to see my funky chicken Trans Am. I know I have it here someplace. A lot of 79 Trans Ams. I did not have a 79. I had a 78. I bought it in 1980. Hold on. I know this is the most exciting video I've ever seen. John Beaudin going through his freaking pictures. I don't know. I'm almost done here. This makes me so dizzy. Hold on. We're almost done. it wouldn't be. Oh, here's my Trans Am. This is my funky chicken Trans Am, and Alberta license plate. I babied that car like crazy. My favorite car I ever had. It's kind of a gaudy car now, to have. I mean, they're collectors now, but I don't know if I'd ever buy a Trans Am again. I don't think so. I've turned into a BMW guy. I drive a BMW, so I don't know. 'Tis the season to listen to Loggins and Messina, Full Sail again. Yes, John, well said. Starry Bear, wish I had a talent for art. My handwriting art skills are like a doctor's prescription, running a terrible prescription. Queen, I didn't know you had a Trans Am. I did. Sneed, I don't know what that means. Ann Wilson is beautiful. Ann Wilson is one of the most beautiful women. I've never looked at her differently. I wouldn't look at Shannon differently if she gained weight. I don't care. It's hard. It's hard. As I got older, I've gone through weight fluctuations. I mean, I know I'm somewhat thin now, but I know how hard it is. Anyone who's past 50 years old knows this. That's a struggle for a lot of people. You do what you can. Jeez, everyone's got something. Gennaro says, These Dreams by Heart was written by Martin Page. I like Martin Page music. Spacey, Sam, Aku, Holt. Kansas was the last live act I saw before COVID, and they may be the first one I see post-COVID. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know they're out there again. Toots, nice car. Looks like a 77 model. No, it's 78. Remember 77 and 78 were the same. 77 had that weird not Roman, but it had the weird lettering on it. Right? By the time they got to 78, they went back to normal how Trans Am was written. It didn't look kooky. I like the new Lindsey Buckingham song. I don't mind. I like it too. I would love to interview Lindsey. I don't know how to get a hold of him. I mean, he's with what's the record company he's with? They reissue all that stuff. It'll come to me when you guys know it. Who's his record label? Smokey and the Beaudin. John, yeah. What would be a great interview for classic rock fans is Shadow Stevens. I used to listen to Shadow Stevens. JT Shark, I am 6'2", 250 pounds. I can talk about weight. Yeah. Well, I love Ann Wilson, Rhino Records. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. So if you go into the Rhino Records page, there's no place where you can contact unless you're ordering. It's all about retail. And I'm going, and I looked up promotions for Rhino, and it was all promotional codes for Rhino. And I'm going, how do you contact Lindsey Buckingham? How in the hell do you contact him? I would love to talk to him. I hear he's going through divorce. That's kind of a sad thing. I wouldn't talk about that. It's none of my business. I think Ann Wilson is as beautiful as she's ever been, but it's not about her beauty. I mean, I think she's beautiful inside and out. I think she's just such a, John, Ann Wilson has an endearing young charm. She's, I can't say that I would imagine Ann Wilson being so vibrant and plugged in as she is today. I mean, I don't think I could have imagined that. It comes up in every interview. No, but I said, could you have imagined your career? It's such a generic question to ask. But you get interesting answers from it now and then. And they all say, well, no, because I didn't even imagine being 50. No one, when they're 20, it's rare to imagine what they're going to be like at 50. That's so not in their frame of just too busy being 20. You don't look up that far. Best DJ of all time, Cousin Brucey. Yeah, it was real legend. New York. Toots, did you have a cowboy hat when you drove the Trans Am? I did not, but I have a cowboy hat because of the Stampede, because we used to go, for 5 years, I worked at a station here called The Breeze. Excuse me. And for over 3 years, I think it was, I was the program director of that station. I just was promoted and I ended up running the station. And we all got white cowboy hats, which we still have downstairs. Yeah, Ann and Astaria, I think the Wilson girls are very classy. Ann is also awesome, Mark. Starry Bear. And Ann can still belt out those songs with ease, yes. Queen says, who is cousin Brucey? Just a Bruce, uh, uh, just a legendary broadcaster. Billy Rossi 46 just got done listening to George Harrison. All things must pass. What's your thoughts? Well, I've interviewed a few people um, who are on that album. Joey Mullen from Badfinger. I talked to him. I talked to David Henschel, was involved in the recording process as I think an engineer, more or less. Um, God, I think I've interviewed 4 people who were on that album. Who else? Think. Just recently. It'll come back to me. Yeah, I like Larry and Willie too. I didn't get a chance to listen to them an awful lot. When I was in Vancouver, I'm on the air in Vancouver every single night on Move 103, um, which used to be QMFM. But I never listened to radio outside my own radio station usually. It was rare. But Larry and Willie were, legendary in Vancouver, and very funny. Very, very funny. Great broadcasters. But I didn't listen to my competition. It was really nice when I was in Vancouver and I lived there. There was a competing station that came up and asked me if I wanted a job, and that's nice when it's unsolicited. They came, they wined and dined me, and they asked me if I wanted to work for them. And I think that's only happened 3 times in 38 years. That out of the blue, someone came forward and said, "Hey, do you want to work for us?" And I didn't apply. That's kind of nice. Love Harrison, Cracker Box Palace. Yeah, I remember that mid-70s. When Harrison played slide guitar, he had his own voice. Starry Bear. Queen says, when did Ann and Nancy they get in a fight over the dog's toots? Well, that was a few years ago. That's not completely resolved yet, but it's hard. It's hard. I'm not close to my older sister at all, not remotely. We just are different people. I'm very close to my younger brother. That happens sometimes in families. You just because they're related to you doesn't mean you have an affinity to be around them. And you're going to get that in families. And they're touring together, and they've been sisters, and there's money involved, and there's success. It's hard to juggle all those things. When I was talking to the Fisher brothers, um, who dated Ann and Nancy while in the band, well, it's difficult because you're touring with them, you're smelling them, you see every bad and good side of them. And that's hard sometimes. And sometimes you don't want to see any more of that. Say, I've seen too much of that person. Not because you're a jerk, just because you've seen too much of that person. I'm not sure what's going on downstairs. Look, I'm still showing my wall in this picture. What the heck? I have 2 older brothers, and we have not talked since our mother died. JT Shark. How long ago was that? I'm curious. KOME was in San Francisco. It's the anniversary of one of these nights. I almost did a thing on it because I've got some good quotes from Bernie Ledden when I talked to him, and some good quotes from Randy Meisner when I talked to him about the One of These Nights album. At the end of the interview, I've mentioned this before, Randy said, "Hey, by the way, what's your favorite Eagles album?" I said, "Well, right now it's One of These Nights. I kind of like that one the best." And it's been that way for a few years. It goes from that to Hotel California, back and forth all. He said, "What's your address?" And out of the blue, he sent me an autographed One of These Nights album. He did write, "To John Beaudin of QMFM." It was that marker pen, but it was very thin. It's on my wall. Well, my wall's taken down now because we're planning on moving sometime in the next year back to my hometown. Brian Johnson from AC/DC. He is an intelligent guy. Yeah, he is an intelligent guy. Oh, JT Shark, 15 years. That's a long time. Were you ever close with them when you were growing up? Why don't you talk to them? So I look at it this way. If I have a sibling that I'm not close to and never really felt an affinity with, you've never really felt connected to. And there are people who grew up with siblings where they feel that they almost feel like they're adopted, you know. And I never felt that, but I felt, anyway, that's all I'll say. I won't say anymore. I was born on the release date of Hotel California, Darren. Is that right? Wow. Cool. Riot note. Tim Allen once said, there is only one way out of a family, and that's death. Yeah. Yeah. Queen says, yeah, that's sorry to hear that, JT. Yeah, Raymond, I know about the ticket sales. Yeah. Queen says, yeah, Brian Johnson, yeah, he's amazing. Oh, there's me showing off my old car. It's all rusted and probably dead someplace. Unless someone, it was starting to rust, the back fender was starting to rust pretty bad when I sold it. Sharon Fox, what two or more musicians had the worst feud ever? Unfortunately, probably too many to say. Oh, yeah. And then you get people who are feuding and then they're okay with the other two. At one point, I talked to Rick Emmett, he was really done with Triumph. He was really, really done with them. But then even in the same breath, he said, well, things could change. They spent a lot of time together. Sorry, I have to move this. It's a lot of time to spend with someone. I mean, everyone's got friends that were the closest friends to them. And then, you haven't spoken to them in years and you don't want to. How long have I been on here? 62 minutes. What the heck? Everyone's got friends that they haven't spoke to. I mean, I've got lists and lists of people that I was really close to, and I have no desire to ever see them again. And I don't hate them or anything. I'm just done. I was enough. That's enough. I go, that's enough now. And I have a tendency to do that. But I haven't done it in years because, when you're married to someone, you're very close to them. I am with Shannon. You don't need friends as much, but I still have I consider a lot of you guys friends. I talk to you guys. Oh, got pain in my head. Might be the pressure in Calgary. We view our childhood with great difference. Oh, okay. JT Shark. Well, are you seeing, Jay, I'm just curious, one more thing. Are you seeing your childhood as good and they look at it as bad, or is it the other way around? Do they look at their childhood? Because with my siblings, we had a tough dad in my family. He was a tough guy. He was a rough guy. But he was a good guy. He just didn't know what he was doing half the time I don't think he was, I don't think he had the software to raise kids. I think he was a great grandfather, but he died at 87. But I love my dad. He was just a difficult guy sometimes. Just could be difficult. My mom's a sweetheart. She's still alive, which is one of the reasons eventually we'll move back there. We can't wait too long though. Okay. No, he doesn't address that, Randy, as far as if there is a clip. I didn't ask him. Next time I'll ask him. He said he'd like to do an interview again. Queen says, I hear legendary stories about the brothers in the Black Crows. I haven't heard. Oh, yeah. That's just awful. Maria Day, there's just some people you get enough of over time. Very well said. Toots, I stay off Facebook. Too much spying on old friends. I love Facebook. I have to admit, I just love Facebook. But I have a lot of people, and I'm friends with people from my high school who never gave me the time of day in high school. Not that I was unpopular, but I certainly wasn't one of the popular kids. I mean, I played hockey, which helped. So, and I was the music guy, which really, really helped. And I had a good band of friends. Um, One I had to let go over conspiracy theories. I might be friends with him again someday, but he's just racism and conspiracy theories. You know, he's in denial about his family being heavily racist, and I'm certainly not. Um, Gennaro. My daughter was a waitress years ago and served someone who said, "Have you ever heard of the Beach Boys?" She says, "I love their music." He replied, "Well, my name is Brian Wilson." What? Oh my God. Wow. Sharon says, "Wow," as well. Randy Schiffer. Everly Brothers had some good bouts. Yeah. Starry Bear. I see your Genesis t-shirt. What do you think about the reunion? Well, I don't know if I would. It's hard to see Phil Collins in the condition he's in, but I'm from the school of if people come and if they want to do it, you know, if you think they're old coots and you don't want to see them, then don't go. But a lot of these shows are all selling out. JT Shark, my older brother was my mother's favorite. Middle brother was dad's, and I was left with our grandparents. Oh God. We were not treated as equals in our family. Well, no wonder. I can totally understand that. And people might say, "Oh, get over it." It's hard to get over that kind of stuff. You don't ever completely get over that kind of stuff. I spent the 80s in counseling, man. I spent the 80s in counseling, getting over my divorce and trying to deal with what happened in my family. And oh, it's just life is short, unfortunately. Some artists don't see it. Clayton Cheney. Mark Burchett. My dad deserted us and my mom was terrible. I made sure all my kids know they're loved. Wow. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Janora, another one of my daughters also was a waitress and served Bradley Cooper. Oh, is that right? Was Bradley nice? Because some people say he's not so nice. Uh, you can have a bad day and some magazine's going to write, you know, there's certain people like Katherine Heigl. There's so many things that have been written about Katherine Heigl. Sometimes Jennifer Aniston. Who else? Joey Deschanel. Um, um, what's his name? Austin Powers. Mike Myers. I find the Mike Myers one really hard to believe, but maybe he's. I just interviewed Christopher Ward, who's a good friend of his, who's the VJ from Much Music, and Christopher had nothing but good things to say about him. But your friends will say nice things about you. But I find it the Mike Myers thing. I've seen Katherine Heigl interviewed a few times, and you kind of go, well, I don't know. You can't tell. Shannon Doherty, remember she was on Conan, the first show Conan had, and he was shaking, and she pointed out that his fingers were shaking or something on the first Conan show many, many years ago. And I've disliked her ever since then. I remember going, what an evil, terrible thing to do to point that out. That's just that, you don't want to say one bad thing is a blanket statement, but after a while you started going and looking at her behavior and I'm like, God, how could you do that? Why would you do that to him? He's feeling nervous. Don't point it out. Toots. My family is getting older now and I might join Facebook just to keep in touch. I love Facebook, like I said. I'm talking to people that weren't my friends in high school. Now they're all my friends, and I'm going, that's fine. You want to be friends? It's cool. They didn't mistreat me. I didn't have any bad experiences in high school. Like, I don't remember. There was one bully, this dude named Alan. He was just a total, but someone threw him against the wall one day. Just picked him up, and threw him against the lockers because he was such a loudmouth schnook. Loudmouth schnook. Ha! Crap. Anyway. The guy who threw him against the wall died last year. I was talking to him on a regular basis, and he was a friend of mine in high school. And he was just, someone was going to do something sooner or later. He was just too much of a loudmouth. But he never bothered me. Never bothered me. My third daughter also was a waitress and was kissed by PK Soup. I don't know who PK is. Queen, but your father was a badass. but he was very kind as well, but he had a temper. Yeah, men back then, a lot of them, I'm going to lower this because I'm starting to look like a little midget. Little midget Johnny B. Someone asked me the other day how tall you are. I am 5'10". I'm very average. Hey, John, is it easier? Well, that's an interesting question, Randy. Hey, John, is it easier for a hard ass to become a nice guy than it is for a nice guy to become a hard ass? It's the former, not the latter, I think. Wendy, Lindsay, do like Queen 2 album. I never had it. I mean, I know it now because it's my business to know it. Maria Day, I'm glad to see Phil Collins when he was well. Yeah. James Bashir, it can suck when your loved ones don't love you. Well, I think people get into habits. I have a person in my family who just got into a habit of being in a persona in a certain way and getting away with it and then continually doing it. And that persona drove me nuts. And that had been going on for years in my family. And all of a sudden, something happened a few years ago, and I went, I'm really done with this person. I don't have to have this person in my life. I don't. I'm not anyway. Toots says, my parents never said they loved us. I tell my son every day. My parents never told us either. My mother tells me now every day. I just got off the phone with her before I got on with you guys, but she says it now all the time. Darren writes, Kim Mitchell says that happy people are in tribute bands. The songwriters wrote from experience the others can relate with. Oh, interesting. Wendy C. I saw an Ann and Nancy Wilson interview on YT and had to do with Ann's husband behavior to someone else in the family. Yeah, it's Nancy's kids. That was a very unfortunate thing. But again, we don't have all the facts. We just have what's out there. And it seems like Nancy has said more than Ann has said, even though it was Ann's husband. So we don't have all the facts to that. And I can't say that I would ask her that if I ever interviewed her. Excuse me. I don't know if I would ask her about that. I mean, why? Is it necessary? I would ask her about the music. I would ask her about, what would I ask Ann Wilson? I'd ask her about, young Ann Wilson. I'd like to know about young Ann Wilson. What her friends were like in high school. I love that question, by the way. Who was egging, who were the people that inspired you back then? What were you watching? What were your hobbies? I'd like to know who that younger girl was who evolved into that powerhouse singer who ended up being probably my favorite female rock singer of all time. A lot of my friends were Pat Benatar people, and I love Pat Benatar as well, but Ann would probably be up there. I mean, I'm a huge Joni Mitchell fan, but Joni Mitchell's not that type of singer, I think. I'm oh yeah, Gennaro. Oh, PK Subban, played for Montreal Canadiens. Okay, I knew his name. Queen. I have only been to one hockey game in Anaheim. It was the Ducks. Yeah. Andrew Mathis. Hello, John. Hope you're doing well. Joined late. What's the topic? Well, we're just talking about families now. We get off on topics. I wanted to mention that Dennis DeYoung asked for this channel to interview him as far as for the new album. He actually asked his promoter, and which was really nice. Thank you, Dennis. Especially at this time in my life, I really needed that. Thank you. So, and he's one of my all-time favorite, singers. I love Styx growing up. I loved all the stuff he did. I just loved the way he played piano. I loved the way he sang. I loved the way he phrased. When I did my wall, which I showed a while ago, Styx was one of the first logos I put on there. Carlos Cruz. I heard Grand Funk will get together again. Is it true? No. They might, but nothing's been announced. Spacey Sam Aku Holt. A family member can tell you they love you all day long, but how do they treat you as an individual? Yeah. Yeah. I have someone in my family, and I remember once I have someone in my family that I realized at one point had never asked me about my job once, never asked me a question. Meanwhile, with this person, I asked this person about their job constantly, how things were doing, what's going on. And one day it occurred to me, I told my wife, I said, this person has never asked me about my job after at that point doing it 35 years, 36 years I've been doing it at that point. Never one question, not one. Are you enjoying your career? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Just, I don't even notice that. It took me all these years to realize this person had never asked me one question about my job. Meanwhile, I always did. How's it going? Why do you do this work? Do you enjoy it? All kinds of, you can ask questions. I think Ann Wilson was inspired by Robert Plant. Oh, she wasn't indeed. Very much. Rob Damon. Hey, John, take good care of your mother and enjoy every moment. I have lost mine last year. Oh, sorry to hear that, Rob. Yeah, I want to spend time with my mom. She's a nice lady. Toots. Your comment on someone else. That's okay. Wendy C. John, thanks for clarifying. Yes, of course, I wouldn't bring into one of your interviews. Spacey Sam. Dennis is great. Glad that he got in contact. It was very nice of him. With a guy like that, it makes so much difference for a guy like me. It just, with Shannon breaking her foot, it was very high stressful because she broke it in a very bad spot. She found out it was an old injury she'd broken before the latter break, the secondary break, which was a smaller break, and she was in so much pain. And she still can't walk on it, and it's only a week and a half old. She's on a inflatable boot, those boots. Gennaro, you tell me yours. What is your all-time favorite concert, John? Best person I've ever seen was Iggy Pop. And I can't say I'm the biggest Iggy Pop fan, but he's the best live performer I ever saw. He opened for the Pretenders in the 80s, and I'd never seen anything like that. He was just so in the zone. James Bashir's Gennaro. Oh, well, Paul. I saw Paul Revere in the Raiders as well. The big hat, yeah. At the Winter Garden showroom in Edmonton, I saw them. I saw James Brown there. I saw who else did I see there? It'll come to me. Oh, Queen, we're interviewing Dennis DeYoung at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have part 1 up probably that night. So that's on Monday. Toots, yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs. I was rooting for Toronto. Ever seen Rammstein live? Rob Damon. No, I became interested in them when I saw the video for Stripped. Is it called Stripped? There's something so dark. It's a sexy song. It's a rough song. It's dark. It's just, I remember going, oh, it's almost like when you hear, I remember the first time I heard Led Zeppelin and recognized that I put the name Led Zeppelin to the music I was hearing. And I remember thinking, oh, there's just something really dark and, naughty about that sound. Carlos Cruz. Hey, Carlos. I'm a huge fan of Grand Funk Railroad since '69. I have all their albums, and I have canceled tickets from Shay. And I have the original poster. I did see your interview with Mark. Oh, cool. Wendy C. Sorry, it's sent before I finished typing. Thanks for clarifying the news between Ann and Nancy Wilson. Queen writes, I like some Rammstein, but not every song. Same here, very much. They are super heavy, very true. Gennaro, no, I've not seen YouTube. I'm not a big YouTube fan. Not, even though I get it. I get what they've done. It's amazing what they've done. My brother saw them, I think in New Brunswick. It might have been Halifax, maybe New Brunswick. I think it was New Brunswick. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm getting tired. I've been on here too long. Here I am up in my bedroom, hanging out. My little dog's here. Look at this guy. I didn't make my bed. Look, well, our bed. Hi, how's it going? Look up here. Are you having a good day? Look at the drumming stool that Shannon's been leaning on for her foot. Then she got one of those medical chairs. She's feeling better, by the way. Rob Damon, you have to buy the DVD with extra content, interview and i.e. Iggy Pop, singer of Aerosmith. Queen writes super extra, not into U2. The singer is obnoxious. I don't find him obnoxious. I can understand why you would, everyone's right when it comes to music. But it's just not music for me necessarily. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I always say that. I was singing With or Without You the other day over and over again. I'll get myself doing it. Did you see Frampton's lost guitar on YouTube? I did not. I'd love to interview Frampton. I've tried. Yeah, the dogs aren't barking today. We had to get Romy, the older Havanese dog. He's a cockapoo, which means he's Cocker Spaniel and one part poodle, 3 parts Cocker Spaniel. He does not look like a cockapoo at all. I have to move this. Oh boy. I have to get in the middle. We're all in bed together. Ever notice that? Yeah, in bed with John Beaudin. Da 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 doo. Hello, welcome to my bedroom. Carlos, yeah, Desperado was. I love Desperado. Elvis Costello, no. I would interview Elvis Costello. Never had a chance, I don't think. Almost interviewed Diana Krall, his wife. It fell through. I remember I had a program director. He always got on my nerves. Here in Calgary. He hired me, and I remember once he said, well, we're going to get Nora Jones. She's coming to town. She's coming into the station. I says, you're never going to get Nora Jones walking into this building. It's never going to happen. She's just too big right now. No, she's coming in. I'm going, oh, God, you're so freaking naive. So anyway, of course, she never came in. If anything, you'd go to Nora Jones if you got the interview, possibly backstage, possibly sound check, maybe. Now it'd be different because now she kind of plateaued. She came in with that album that was so big. It's still a great album. I think it still sounds great. And then Diana Krall was the same thing. I was telling him, I said, Diana Krall's not going to happen. Oh, yeah, we're going to get done. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It didn't happen. We were a jazz station at the time. We were doing jazz, smooth jazz. Queen, I have 2 giant sweetheart rots. Oh, wow. Why'd my phone do that? I need to get plugged in. My phone just went dark, a little darker. Hold on. In the bedroom with John Beaudin. New series. Oh, we're falling apart. Am I on the wrong side? Oh, it's over here. Sorry, guys. Gotta plug in. I gotta do my plug in. In bed with John Beaudin. Yeah, Randy, thank you for the reminder. I have to, if I interview Dewey Bunnell, I'll have interviewed all 3 guys from America. I know, you know what I'm thinking of doing? Contacting Bill Schnee, the engineer, producer, and asking him to fix my interviews with Andrew Gold, Ravi Shankar, Dan Peake, and who's the other one? Dave Brubeck. They were all done around the same time. Well, with the same equipment, let's just say that. And they all have a heavy phone hum on them, and I don't know if I can fix them. But they're hold on. Yeah, they're all dead. Every one of them are dead. Isn't that weird, eh? The 4 interviews I want fixed, they're all Andrew Gold, Dan Peek, Dave Brubeck, and Ravi Shankar. Yeah, Ravi blessed me at the end of the interview. He says, "John, bless you." And I went, wow, I've just been blessed by Ravi Shankar. Beautiful man. He talked about Nora Jones. He talked to, because that's his daughter. He talked about being estranged from her. Didn't go into it in depth, nor should he. It's none of my business. With things like that, if someone wants to talk about it, that's fine. You don't want to push them too much on it. It's a very private matter. He talked about Anushka, his other daughter, who plays the sitar with him, and she's still playing sitar. Beautiful girl. Yeah. I should ask Bill. I don't think Bill would be cheap, though. Yeah. I almost thought of sending it out to David Henschel. I've got some producer friends. John Zeka, Bobby Kimball's producer, tried to fix, I think it was Andrew Gold. There's such a heavy phone hum on it. I should play you a bit of it next time I'm on live. I should play you a bit of each interview, and you'll go, I can't understand what they're saying. So, well, Andrew's dead. And Dan Peek died. Ravi's dead, and Dave Brubeck's dead. My mom was a nurse at Dan Peek when he was hospitalized in Cleveland back in the day. We were screaming, "Oh, why was he hospitalized?" It's not. It's either Dan Peek or Andrew Gold died in their sleep. I can't remember who it was. I'm in contact with Andrew Gold's widow. She wanted a copy of the interview because they're doing a documentary, and there's not a lot of interviews out there necessarily of Andrew. Someone told me that in the Linda Ronstadt special, I've got it recorded. I haven't watched it yet. Excuse me. Andrew Gold's not mentioned, which I find hard to believe because in the interview, Andrew told me at one point, "Oh, I remember." I said, "Well, your memories of Linda, He said, "Well, I have memories of trying to teach her how to write songs. I remember one day we were sitting on a bed together," he says, "and I was trying to teach her how to write songs." I'd love to interview Linda Ronstadt. Oh my God, Jackson Brown's got new music coming out, so I'm always in contact with his people because they handle a lot of those Lauren hype that kind of West Coast Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Joni Mitchell, people. Anyway, yeah. Dan and Andrew died within months of each other. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew was, well, both of them, because I had a real nice connection with each one. Each one. The interviews were fun. They were very laid back. Oh, was it kidney cancer? Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Levon Helm, I was not a big band fan. I had Stage Fright. That's the only album I ever bought, and I like Stage Fright a lot. I like the colors on. I remember the first thing. I remember going, "Cool colors," but that's the only album I actually went out and bought with my own money. Of course, I know all the music. No, I didn't. David Crosby. I haven't done that. But Marcus Keating. Marcus. What's his name? Marcus and his brother were involved in that, and I interviewed Marcus Easton. Marcus. Oh, I forget his name. Marcus was his lead guitarist or one of his guitarists for his band. And he says, "Listen, I'm aware of David Crosby, and some people have said he's like Lou Reed, had a mercurial kind of personality where when it was bad, it was not good at all. Uh, so I don't know." He says, but he says I was able to work with him. Marcus Easton. I forget what his name is. Sorry, Marcus, you're friends of mine on Facebook. I should know your freaking name. I'll look him up. Let's look him up, shall we? I'll look him up. I haven't talked to him in a while. Eaton. Yeah, this guy here. Crazy good guitarist. He was in Italy. I think it was Italy. Spain, maybe. Not sure where he was. Out there someplace. When COVID hit. And he was stuck there. And for a minute, he says, well, there's no one on the streets. Should I chance being a tourist for a few more days? Maybe I can't get back in the US. Any chance being a tourist for a few more days, and there was nobody on the street. So he really enjoyed himself. He told me about it. Let me see some. Okay, I got to go pretty soon, guys, because I should go help. Oh, well, I don't have to help Shannon downstairs. Let's bring it down. Oh, what are you doing? Look at this guy. Look what he's thinking about. Hi. Are you okay? He says, I like it when you don't make the bed. A lot of white on white in this house. A lot of white on white. Walls, everything's white on white. Okay. I'm trying to fix this. A few more questions and we'll go. This has been fun, by the way. I needed to do this today. He did talk about his mother. I had seen his mother in concert. What's her name again? I forget his mother's name. The first thing we talked about in the interview, because I recently went back and listened to it, we talked about his mom. Because like I said, I'd seen her in concert. And, that's what I told him. I told Andrew that the whole crowd just went nuts when, first of all, she said, oh, you might know my son. He's had a few hits, Lonely Boy. And then she mentioned, and the Golden Girls theme, thank you for being a friend. And because of the demographic in the audience, because she's an older woman, they all went nuts. And I told Andrew that. Okay. Let's finish off here with a few more questions. Can't readily, this is Sharon Fox. Hi, Sharon. Can't readily recall, but Dan Peake had health problems since his childhood and was written about in the band's biographies. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it came up in our interview. It was a long interview. I think it was about an hour. Andrew was a little shorter. JT Shark, have you seen the latest interview with Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Lots of bad blood aimed at Crosby still. Yes. I haven't seen it, no, but I've heard about it. Queen, I don't know any of these names you are talking about, except for Peter Frampton. Well, Andrew Gold, thank you for being a friend. And Dan Peake of America would say, one you might know is Today's the Day. I get the feeling, today's the day. I get the feeling. I can't sing. Rob Damon, is your age playing parts, John? I'm not sure what that means. Do you ever see a picture of the Beatles signing autographs for Andrew Gold? He was like 10. No, I haven't seen that. I don't think so. Loving your recent interview with Kenny Loggins. Thank you. This is from Rob F. Had no idea he wasn't getting royalties for Danger Zone. I didn't know that either. He just volunteered that information. Randy, yeah, Eaton. Thank you. Queen, I'm literally going to dog nap him. He has the sweetest face. It was his face that made us buy him. And don't get me wrong, we could go to and rescue a dog. We can't rescue a dog because Danica's autistic and we need to know where the dog came from. We couldn't possibly. And that's just our thing. I know that might sound like a stupid excuse. And we saw that dog and we went, oh, I'd like that dog. Can I buy him? Yes, $2,400, please. And I went, holy snapping turtles. The dog's $2,400? And so, yeah. I paid $2,400 that day. I said, well, I guess let's buy them. Anthony Sondheim, Andrew Gold died of a heart failure and died in his sleep at 59 years old. Thank you. Spacey, retracted message. Marnie Nixon, JT Shark, thank you. I don't know how I got into that. I don't know what made me go to that concert. I was familiar with her work somewhat. I knew she was Andrew Gold's mom. If I read my journal, if it was before, I only wrote my journal when I was single. When I met Shannon, and I think I've said this before I met Shannon, if I was dating a woman This is between 86 and 97 when I got my divorce, 86, 87. I would seldom see a woman more than 3 times a week. It was just, I liked my privacy. I was comfortable being alone, and it was really rare. But then I met Shannon in 97, and I wanted to see her every day. And she wanted to see me every day. So we kind of like became codependent. I don't know what that means. Anyway, Anthony, thanks for that information. Toots, yes, the Kenny Loggins interview was good. Wasn't he a nice guy? Yeah. Getting tired. John McMillan, please bring some Lennon-like signage to bed next time. Oh, yeah. Give peace a chance. Starry Bear, we love Levon here. The man was a national treasure. And Danko, so sad. Yeah. All those guys are tortured souls. I think a lot of them are. But, you look at, someone was telling me the other day, well, yeah, but James Taylor wasn't. I'm going, are you serious? James Taylor had mental issues when he was young. And not in the bad, I mean, I suffer from depression. I'm not looking at that in a bad light, but James Taylor was messed up. And then he got clean and he replaced his dependencies with exercise. When I saw him in, I think, 92 at the P&E in Vancouver, outdoor concert. I've not seen a lot of those. Someone had told me, my God, the guy exercised like crazy. Just loves to exercise. I don't know if he's still that way, but a lot of people have. I've not seen a Terry Kath experience. No. Someone sent me a link the other day, but the link didn't work. Oh, you're talking about, what was the poster over Lennon's bed? What was that? Chuck Chandler was there in that room, and I met Chuck briefly. He died a few years ago. Famous DJ. JT Shark. When musicians do soundtracks, they are sometimes paid a rate and get nothing else from it. Yeah, but that wasn't the case it was a writing thing concerning the Oscars. Queen writes, what band is Andrew Gold from? He's not from a band. He was in Linda Ronstadt's band, but he did, Thank You for Being a Friend and the Golden Girls sound. Well, it wasn't the Golden Girls song then. Thank You for Being a Friend and Lonely Boy. Spacey, what do you mean? Solo artist, singer, songwriter? Queen, solo artist. Okay, you guys talking about it. Randy Schiffer. You're talking about Andrew Gold. So to Andrew Gold's Facebook, and there's a picture of the Beatles with him. Oh, cool. I'll check it out. Starry Bear. James Taylor is just a happy guy. He is now. Yeah, he seems like he's in a really happy marriage. His wife sings. She seems like a wonderful person. I'd love to interview James Taylor. I talked to Henry Diltz, and when he took the pictures for James Taylor's early albums or album, I'm not sure which one it was. He just said James was very quiet, incredibly quiet. Didn't say much. He also said that Jim Morrison was quiet. Not on stage. JT Shark, too bad the band members and Robbie Robertson did not have a time to heal. Yeah, I know. Queen, James Taylor has the most beautiful voice. Oh, I so agree. What's the song about Martin Luther King? What's the name of that song? Let us bow our heads today for Martin Luther King. I think that's the lyrics. Rise on Up or something. What was it called? God, that's a good song. Valerie Carter was with them back then. She died a few years ago. I think Valerie was with them when I saw them, but don't quote me on that. Andrea Zahn, I think, replaced her. Andrea sings. She's such a wonderful singer. Wax. You know what? I interviewed Graham Goldman and never asked him about Andrew Gold once. What the heck? I can't believe I talked to Graham Goldman and never asked him about Wax. I asked Andrew Gold about wax, but not Graham Goldman. Queen, Jim Morrison's my favorite singer of all time. I think Jim Morrison was a closet lounge singer. And I mean that in the best possible way. I think that Jim was beyond genres. I think that I think Jim could sing almost anything. Andrew Mathis, I have not interviewed Carole King. I'd like to, considering Tapestry is 50 years old. I think there's a song on Still You Linger On from Andrew Gold. Look it up. Good song. Beautiful song. I used to play it on a new age format that I did. And Andrew's widow put it up on the Andrew Gold site or on her personal, I'm friends with her on Facebook. So she asked me to be friends because a few years ago, I guess Andrew Gold has 2 daughters who sing. Is that true? My memory's a little fishy, but I'm pretty sure they contacted me and wanted to interview. And at the time I said, I don't know where it is. And I didn't know where it was. Yeah. And then his widow asked me to be friends on Facebook. And of course I said yes. Yeah, anyway, can you tell I'm fading a little bit? Oh my God, it's 5:41. JT Shark, I think Taylor and Carly Simon's marriage was doomed from the start. Bill Schnee, there's a clip. Look up Bill Schnee, Carly Simon on my channel, and he talks about how Carly Simon had a vision for You're So Vain, which was completely different from what the final product was like. And Richard Perry were arguing back and forth, and Bill Schnee's there, like trying to keep out of the trouble. But eventually, Richard Perry got his way, and and You're So Vain ended up sounding the way it did. You know, that whole song is just so wonderful. Yeah, James Taylor, that's right, into carpentry. Queen, you're right. John McMillan, what is your next session? It's on Monday with Dennis DeYoung of Styx. I only have one interview next week. Dennis DeYoung of Styx, that's it. That's enough. My God. Can't wait to talk to him. Such a cool guy. Toots. James Taylor in the movie Two-Lane Blacktop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Randy Schiffer. Yeah, Valerie Carter, to quote Jackson Brown, that girl could sing. Yeah. It's too bad. You know, I know all about, I've had my bouts with drinking. I know about that. It became an easier thing for me than I thought, not to continue, but to handle that. But I recognize how difficult addiction could be. I remember going, oh, this could get out of hand. And I went, well, I'm not going to let that happen. A lot of alcoholism in my family. I think a lot of families can say that. Mental illness. And, you know, you look at that and you go, when Valerie died, I was sad because I knew James Taylor was there when, you know, she got sober. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. Look up Valerie Carter, James Taylor sobriety or something, and you'll find it. And he was there congratulating her, and she just couldn't do it. I mean, there's a guy that's online that's a friend of mine that was her boyfriend for a little while. I asked him to come on and talk about her, but he said, I don't think I wasn't with her that long. And I said, well, you kind of run a Facebook page which is dedicated to her. But at the same time, I didn't want him, you know, he's got to feel comfortable doing it. That's fine. JT Shark, I got him on Monday. Hasn't happened yet, but he asked for us. He specifically, as the promoter said, he specifically asked for you, which is really nice. You know, thank you, Dennis, for making my year. It won't be live, no. Spacey. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern. As soon as I finish, my son's going to start editing it, and then we'll get it up as fast as we can. Possibly segment 1 that day. We're trying to make our segments 3 days apart now and longer. So people always bitch. They go, oh, why do you split them up? I split them up because of the way I work. It's the way I work. If you want to watch the whole thing, we're going to start putting them on podcasts. We have a podcast. Look up Rock History Book on Podcast. Dennis released a beautiful Broadway album. I know he always had that in him. I used to think David Paich was like that. We're trying to get David Paich as well right now from Toto. He's their musical director now. He's not part of the band per se, but he'll make probably an appearance now and then, possibly. But he's their music director. I'm glad these guys are still around. Oh God. Favorite song? The song that cemented me was always "Come Sail Away." That cement. I remember going when that was released. But then again, I like the Cornerstone album a lot too. I like that. It took me a little while to get into it, but I ended up liking it. What was that early one? Equinox. Yeah. The Mr. Roboto stuff, not as much. But I kind of got what they were doing. I remember thinking they want to mix it up a little bit, right? Fans don't always like that though, but I haven't got David Paich yet. We're working on it. Get the guys you can get. Clayton Cheney, you said it well. Cornerstone is overlooked. I think my brother Charles got Cornerstone before I did. And he was heavily influenced by what I was listening to because I was the older brother. I'm 4 years older than him. I still remember the day he was brought home. I don't know how I can remember that being 4 years old, but I remember it. Anyway, yeah. Styx was always one of my A-list bands. I wish he was still in the band. I don't know too many people who wouldn't want him back in the band. But what happens, bands happens, right? Partly our business, partly not our business. It's kind of the way it goes. Because we want to know what happened because everyone likes a good reunion. Most people like a good reunion. Let's... Genesis. One of my favorite bands of all time. Shannon doesn't like me wearing rock t-shirts out of the house. I don't usually wear... you ever notice my earlier videos, I used to always wear really bright shirts. Like very, very bright shirts. Hold on. I have let me show you. Come into my closet, will you? Let's go into the closet. John Beaudin's going back in the closet. See, I only have some of them here. I've worn these shirts on videos. I know. John Lennon shirts. This is a John Lennon. Everyone's got to have that's not a John Lennon. That's not a John Lennon. Oh, I've used that. I don't think this is a John Lennon, is it? No, all the John Lennons are downstairs. Yeah, right. This is a John Lennon right here as well. And this is, I don't know what, I take out the tag because it drives me crazy. Thank you for coming around my house. Just checking things. I never thought I'd ever do that. Coming, I don't know. Come and hang out around my house. So there you have it. There you have it, kiddos. Most of you guys, some of you guys are older than me. I shouldn't be calling you kiddos. Most of the shirts, someone asked me if I wear a Robert Graham shirt. Robert Graham shirts are like $300. So I only have one, and I got it on sale for like $150 or something like that. I don't like spending that kind of money on shirts anymore. Plus, in the summer, I don't wear shirts because they bother me. Let's do that. Okay, we're moving things around here. Hold on. There you go. I never thought I'd do a freaking broadcast from my bed. It's a king-size bed, by the way. Shannon likes the room. If she's had enough of me, she goes over there. This is my side. Her side's over there. I was just, Axis, I was just thinking about Weird Al this morning. The song, Vanna, Give Me a Letter? Shannon knows the words to that really well. She's always singing it. Shannon has an incredible, incredible memory. She never forgets anything. She never forgets the name of a person. She just remembers things. So, almost, my watch just told me I'm almost hit my fitness goal. Since Shannon has broken her foot in 2 places and can't really move, I'm realizing how much stuff she does around here. Oh my God. Crazy. So now I'm coming out, Rob. No, Kevin Cronin, Andrew, I've tried to interview Kevin Cronin. I reached out to him at one point and we never heard back. Sometimes it's a question of, you should follow through after the first email. I got to do that with, I really have to do that with Lou Graham because I've talked to his manager. He knows who I am. So I will, okay, Axis, where is that? Shanny Poo Head. That's right, Shanny Poo Head. Maria Day, I've come out of the closet. All my good shirts are downstairs. Oh, when I did buy, Shannon bought me that Robert Graham shirt, which was like, I think it was regular $250, which is insane for a shirt. And I don't wear shirts usually. I wear shirts for videos. And Shannon said, you should say that now and then. At least say that you're not a big shirt wearer. I wear black t-shirts almost every single day, almost every day. And she said, you should at least have a disclaimer and say, I don't usually wear shirts, but they look good on video. But the Robert Graham that she bought me for my birthday when I turned 61 this past February has green over here. And on the green screen, it shows up and it disappears. And I went, finally got a Robert Graham shirt. And Steve Lukather was telling me, I said, hey, man, you must have some Robert Graham shirts. You like bright shirts? He said, I got some. He says, I get a lot of my shirts from Japan. He says that. So I thought, I should try to do that. Do you have a housekeeper? Don't you have a housekeeper, Rob Damon? No, we're not rich. We're middle class. We never want for anything. We don't really need things, but we have an autistic daughter and we make sure that she gets what she needs. Queen, did she at least get the $250 shirt on sale? Yes, she got it for $149, I think. I think so. She just said you should at least have one Robert Graham shirt. And if anybody looks up Robert Graham shirts, they're it's nice to look at. There's this guy who does these videos. Have you ever watched this guy who does videos? I've subscribed to his channel, body language videos. I can't tell you now because he's bald guy, always wears really bright shirts and a sports jacket. But he watches, it's really interesting stuff. So all the controversial, like Jodi Arias and all the crazy people out there that have done bad things, he will watch their body language and tell you if they're lying. And, he's very transparent. He says, well, it's 75% accurate within a 5% margin either way. But look him up. I don't know his name, but he's a bald guy. He's got a beard, mustache. You'll see him right away. Just look up body language and look up body language, Jodi Arias, like you want to look up Jodi Arias. She's terrible. But he'll go through all this stuff. Observe, is that his name? Chase, is that his username? Toots, Estes Fish and Chip. You know who I was talking to the other day, Toots? I was talking to FaceTime Dale Esty, who's the son of the people who owned it. Well, his sisters run it now. I know two of the kids from that family. I went to school with. I've known Dale since. Oh, let me show you something. Let me show you Estes Fish and Chip. Let me show you something. Hold on. Here. Okay, hold on. You want to see something old? This is me. This is Dale Esty on top. He owns Estes Fish and Chip. Gerald Berthium. And that's me. And we're in elementary school. Look at that. Look at that good-looking kid. John Beaudin. Anyway, that's Dale Esty from Estes Fish and Chip. Gerald, I don't know what Gerald ended up doing. He wanted to be a writer. But anyway, out of nowhere, well, about twice a year lately, I've been talking to Dale, and I was telling us, well, eventually we're going to move back sooner than later to New Brunswick. And look at the stuff you're learning about me today. What the heck? What's going on around here? Okay, hold on. Let me get back into a stream. I would love for us to I was just looking up Zoom today, Zoom meetings, YouTube, but if anybody wants to be included in the Zoom meetings, we'll make an announcement on this channel. We'll say, hey, we're going to have a Zoom meeting, a private Zoom meeting, if you all want to come on and talk so I could see you You don't have to put your face on camera if you don't want to. You can still be anonymous if you want. Um, uh, Someone was saying to you that you must get a lot of friends invites. I do, but I have the same thing all you guys have. Mostly guys have this. These like 19-year-old girls will send you like an invitation. You have no friends in common, and you know what it is. It's just a scam. They're catfishing you or something. Oh, I'm starting this TikTok video channel. I get more of that like anybody else. You know, it's just crazy. I'm going, how do they think they're going to get away with that? Nicole Murphy. Yeah, his channel is called Observer. I highly recommend this guy. I like true crime, so I watch a lot of it. Look him up. He's just fascinating. I could watch, and I don't watch a lot of people. I've said this before. I don't watch a lot of people who do what I do. I'm not going to say I find them boring. I don't. Rick Beato's great. The Sea and Tranquility guy is fantastic. Uh, Professor of Rock is awesome. I mean, they all do their homework. They're really good. I love watching their videos. But what I like watching even more is true crime videos. My wife says, "You're obsessed with true crime." I'm going, why don't you do a channel on that? I'm going, I don't have that. I don't have that kind of, those guys do it well. I'm going to let those guys do it. I'm not going to get involved in that. I got to get up. But Observer, thank you. Chase, thank you. I appreciate that. Nicole Murphy, yeah, idiots, it calls them. Yes, love his channel. Yeah. Estes Fish and Chip, yeah, Observe. Thank you, Chase. I really appreciate you coming up with that. Chase, do you watch him? What do you think of him? I think body language is a big thing. You know, when someone says, I didn't do that, but they're going it like this. I didn't do that. Oh, I can't even do it. I'm getting all mixed up. They're saying they mean to go like this. I didn't do it, but they're going, yes, I didn't do it. Like, and their body language is so obvious sometimes. And they've got all the notorious people from the last few years, Dr. Phil. I'm still disappointed that Dr. Phil said that. He went on Fox News and he said that it's like a flu or whatever he said. Anyway, he said something to minimize the. I've not watched him since, and I used to watch Dr. Phil every day. I've not watched him since. Queen, Brad Delp was a great singer. Yeah. Chase Tower, me too. Toots, catfish, ta ha ha. Yeah, everyone gets catfished. People say, that's why people always ask me, do you get a lot of friends advice? I do. And if anybody watches my channel and they want to be my friends on my regular Facebook, I mean, I think I've got space for 1,000 people. Yeah, sure. I'd rather be friends with people who watch my videos on Facebook than friends with people that I never interact with whatsoever. You know what I mean? I was telling my wife this, Shannon, I says, it makes more sense for me to become Facebook friends with people that I actually interact with here, as opposed to people I became Facebook friends with 10 years ago that I never talked to. What's the point of that? Bassist Juan D. Nelson passed away today. I don't know who that is. Who's he played with? JT, who did he play with? Ambrosia released a statement about someone who passed away. Sky Theater. So true, Starry Bear. Queen. Is Estes Fish and Chip only in Canada? There's only one. There's only one of them. It's in Northeast New Brunswick where I came from. Sorry about the inside joke talking about Estes. But I haven't had Estes Fish and Chip probably 20 years, maybe a little more. I don't remember. Yeah, Chase, Professor of Rock is good. He does his homework. He's cool. He's laid back. He knows his stuff. He cares. Professor of Rock, he cares. I love his little hat. I don't usually like when people give themselves titles, but for him, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, and Rick Beato's great. And like I said, Sea of Tranquility, great content, well-researched. They all seem like good guys, like all the power to them. I see these guys do that and I'm going, yeah, good. And Rick Beato, like he's got millions of followers and he deserves it. Good for him. Everyone says I should interview him. I'd love to. Just one of these, I'll get around to it. Um, yeah, true crime's not for everyone, Queen. Not for everyone. Uh, well, it's not only women. Men get it too on those shows. I can't watch when they recreate the crime. I can't watch that. I just always want them to catch the guy. You know, it's usually a guy. Catch the person. Oh, I've seen the classical music professor. I don't like reaction videos. I don't like reaction videos at all. I don't know why they're popular, but obviously they are, and they're not for me. You know, I don't like when people watch. Oh my God, Genesis, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Um, did I erase someone's comment? Miniature golf at Maury's, uh, Morrison Cove, best of times. I know Toots, you're from Chatham. I never spent a lot of. We were looking at houses in Chatham. I don't want to really live in Chatham because it's not my place. I'm from Miramichi, the other side of the river. Maria Day, I got my Facebook spot. LOL. You sure did. JT Shark, we are friends on Facebook. Yes, we are. Floyd the Barber, have you interviewed Nick Gilder of Sweeney Todd? Now, I'm friends with him on Facebook. I have not interviewed him. You might be mad at me for putting him in the one hit wonders thing. I did mention that he had a hit with Sweeney Todd, but as a solo artist. And this was from a US point of view as well. All the stuff that Jason writes is, I mean, we gear most of our videos for rock history music to a US audience. I mean, it's always been more or less a US channel. Rock History Canada, on the other hand, it's also for US people if they're interested in Canadian music that haven't crossed over. Usually it's for Canadian music, not always. Loverboy's about to, I know we're going to get that Loverboy series up with Mike Reno. Okay, keyboardist David Lewis, not founding member of Ambrosia, passed away. That's right, they released a statement. I got it. Axis 2084, one of the coolest restaurants I was at was Hard Rock Cafe in Boston. Our table had one of Elliot Easton's guitars. Never forget. JT Shark, one Nelson played with Ben Harper. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with it. Randy Schiffer. How about getting Rich Campbell, bass player for Dave Mason, America, for an interview? I didn't know that. I should get Dave Mason on here. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We just disagree. Sharon Fox, I don't. Queen says, true crime stories put me in a super low vibration. You know, I can understand that. They don't affect me in that way. The only true crime shows I can't watch is the Neighbors one. I forget what it's called. Some of you guys might know it. Next Door, Fear of Thy Neighbor. I can't watch that show. That freaks me out, that one. That's a nightmare to live by. You know, we don't really get along with it's not that we don't get along. We don't talk to our neighbors next door. We had a disagreement about a fence when we first moved in. And it's always been kind of frosty, but we're nice to each other. And they're nice people. We just had a disagreement, and I went, well, that's the way it goes. The next door neighbors on this side, we get along famously with. And then the people next to him, Troy Hawes. Troy was check out his channel. It's Troy, it's either Hayes or Hawes. He does tutorials on guitar. He's really good. Very good looking man. He's a beautiful human being. Sharon Fox, I'm not a fan of those reaction videos either. I don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like I'm watching some guy at home going, yeah, okay, you don't know this music? That's sure. It doesn't have to. But I wouldn't, I mean, you know, if someone came over to my house and wanted to say, hey, can you play me the best Genesis album? And I'd probably play Selling England by the Pound. I love Duke as well. For the Phil Collins era, I think Duke's probably my favorite album. And no one's wrong with that. You can't be wrong about your favorite. You can't tell someone, well, that's not your favorite. So, and I guess I'd sit down and watch their reactions if they were young. But I don't think I would. I'd say, go home, listen here, borrow the album, go home and listen. I don't know. Starry Bear reaction videos. I agree. Just why? I don't get it. I just don't understand them. Sharon Fox, you said that. Axis. I miss the 70s and 80s. Things were more real back then. I am getting old. Mid 50s. No, you're not. I think that, well, Axis 2084. Don't you miss going in a record store? I do. Being excited. Those record stores still available, but I never get excited going to one anymore. You know? Ever. Um, Sunny Corners too far, Toots. CI Road. My mother lives up CI Road. She lives in Belfont. Inside joke. Sorry, guys. We're talking about my hometown. And Toots, you're in Moncton, right? You said. Oh yeah, Maria Day. Yeah, I know he worked with Jerry Rafferty. Worked with Bill Connolly. Um, uh, the problem with Jerry Rafferty, and I was a huge Jerry Rafferty fan. The problem with Jerry is he couldn't go on stage without being quite inebriated. That was the biggest problem. Um, yeah, it was sad. And he had a major, major drinking problem. It was major. His liver was shot. Spacey says, yeah, John, the Fear Thy Neighbor show is over the top. It is. You can tell they're really stretching it. Clayton Cheney, if I was a rock star, I would rather talk to you than some. Thank you, Clayton. That's very kind of you. It's nice that Dennis DeYoung feels that way. I'm honored that he chose me. That's really nice. Um, oh, Queen, it's so weird that fences always do that to neighbors. I hear about that. Yeah. And the thing is, when we eventually do move back to New Brunswick, we have two dogs that like to run around, and no one has fences there. We're gonna have to have a dog run and not a fence because we wouldn't want to be one of the few neighbors with a fence. JT Shark, I do not get reaction videos. Pulsar Lights, haha. Spacey, Nick Gilder also co-wrote The Warrior, recorded by Scandal. I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that. Thank you for that information. I miss Tower Records, Maria Day. Yeah, when I went to LA, the first record store I went to was Tower Records back. Um, not with Shannon, 97, Shanny and I went. But before that, I went with, um, who was it? My ex-girlfriend. When Jeff Porcaro died. What was it, 92? Yeah, John Lund, reaction videos are a ruse to get views. Well, everything's a ruse to get views. Oh, Chase says, let's work. You see that? Let's work. He, he sent me a message. Let's work. He wants to do some videos. Axis. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here in about 5 minutes. Um, Phoenix Records. Oh, cool, Axis. The professor was the guy who owned it. You could get used to vinyl, use vinyl for $3 or $4. Yeah, you still can some places. Pulsar. How is Keith Richards' liver? Some people are built in a different way. Their liver doesn't go to crap like other people. And it might be overstated that, I don't know, does he still live that kind of lifestyle? He looks like he does, but it doesn't mean he does. Maria Day, it's really sad. He was such a good singer. Toots, PEI would be a nice place to live. It's not far away. No, I can't go back. Oh, Teddy Bates, thank you for the super chat. You're the first super chat today. John McMillan, as soon as your roll bouncer is done here, I'm going to listen to a copy you gave me at CFUN in 99. Are you John McMillan from the old radio days? I don't know. Are you John McMillan? Toots. Axis okay. Starry Bear. Pulsar Lights. You're talking to each other. Maria Day. Strange thing. There was a Tower Records down the street from Journey's management office. Really? Oh, wow. Teddy Bates. Oh my God. Neil Thompson's brother-in-law. Oh my God, John. I didn't know it was you. It's so weird now we do live broadcast. Are we friends on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? I know we communicated a few years ago. I've got pictures of you from the old days. We're doing remotes and stuff. John, please do. My God, it's been years. I love it when we do a live broadcast. You can imagine anybody who's watching, you're doing a live broadcast, and out of nowhere, you'll get someone who's an old friend that you know from way back when, and you don't expect it. It's kind of like when now and then people will say, "Hey, you ever get recognized?" Of course not. I don't get recognized. I mean, YouTube's a huge world. Once I went to Starbucks and someone had just watched a video of mine, but it was just pure chance, and they went, "Oh, Mr. Elton John," because I'd just done this long Goodbye Yellow Brick Road Elton John video, but it just never happens. It never happens. It's just so rare. I'm going, why? We're just YouTube, just tons of YouTube people, just another YouTuber, you know? Yeah, John, send me a friends thing. Anyone can send me a friends if you want to be my friend on Facebook, by all means, as long as you're not crazy conspiracy. No crazy conspiracies. Not interested in seeing Pizzagate stuff. That's kind of kooky. There was never a basement. I've had to unfriend. I mean, listen, I don't unfriend people because they're Republican. I would never do that. But I've had great interviews with people who are Republican. Great interviews. We don't talk about politics. One of my favorite musicians is heavily into conspiracy theories, and I've had to tell him, and he's a very popular guy, and I know him personally, and I had to tell him, we cannot be friends if you keep talking about this stuff. I'm not gonna, Pizzagate, yeah. Axis. I retired from the business. I have too many vengeful exes, so getting recognized wouldn't be a good thing. Really? Is that right, eh? Well, if you ever want to be Facebook friends, I'm right here. Can you just be Maria? Yeah, you can be normal crazy, of course. Normal crazy's fine. But believing, I have a really good friend who's a big conspiracy guy, and he sends me stuff, and because he was almost in the family at one point. He's such a brilliant man. He's such a good guy. I love him. I consider him a friend. He's the most interesting of men. But now, when he sends me something that's a little too out there, I just Jeffrey Epstein. Who wrote that? You gotta Pizzagate. Yeah. Pulsar lights. Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta wonder about Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Dwayne, the only pizza we can talk about if there's pineapple allowed or not. I love pineapple on pizza. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But that's a personal thing, right? You can't say you can't do that because if someone wants it, they're allowed to have it. Jeffrey Epstein was in the grassy knoll. Yeah, I surrounded myself with a lot of JFK stuff. I mean, I was 3 years old when JFK was killed in the fall of that year, and I, uh, I, uh, I was really, when the movie JFK came out, I was very interested, even though it told us absolutely nothing, and of course it didn't. Why would we have to wait for a movie to come out for it to tell us something and make front page news? People say, "Oh, when I die, I want to find out who killed JFK." Oh, Crazy Ginger Jake Holden. Well, there's a username for you. Pineapple pizza is awesome, but it's you can't. Again, it's like music, and we still do it now and then. You go up, oh, how could you like that? You can't say to someone you hate. How can you like Justin Bieber? Most people who like Justin Bieber are younger, but not necessarily. My wife likes Justin Bieber music. Shannon does. I'm not a big fan. I played Justin Bieber on the radio. I contribute to it every single night. Every night I play Justin Bieber. Every single night on my radio show because that's the kind of music we play. And I'm not going to say I don't have to listen to the music. No, if I was doing the show live, I'd still listen to the music. I don't hate the music I play. I like the music. Almost all the music I play at night, it's all new music. I pretty much like a lot of it. Now and then Leanne Rhymes will come on. I'll go, I don't know, but I don't like that woman. She didn't do anything to me. It was way too much drama from that. After a while, I'm going, oh my God, you seem like you got off on it. I didn't see the Juno Awards, Dwayne, no. Jerry was a raging alcoholic. Yeah. James Bashir, love pineapple and tomato on pizza. Anchovy kicker. I've had the anchovy pizza once. Very salty, of course. To each their own, that's right. I still, to this day, I've never heard of Justin Bieber. Pulsar lights. You're funny. Thrust in Beaver. Clayton Cheney. No politics. Well, notice we don't talk about politics. The closest I came is I was going to ask Richie Fiore, do you still talk to Neil Young? And if you do, how can you guys be friends if you are so drastically in different polar opposites politically, right? But then again, he's a Republican, and I have no problem talking to him. Mark Farner's a Republican. I have no problem talking to him. But two of my favorite interviews, and I know I say that a lot, but we're just two people. I think in the end, if you strip away, I think conspiracy theories can grab, it's cultish behavior can grab people who are either lonely or vulnerable in general. And conspiracy theories never come in one. Whenever someone says, well, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but this one, they're usually not telling the truth. They're not hooked into them. No one usually has one. I mean, there's always going to be like the JFK stuff. That's just meaty stuff, right? The format on the radio show is just new music. It's just, it's like the old contemporary hit radio. It's Move 103 in Vancouver. Just look up Move 103. You'll see my ugly mug there. I'm on the. It's a great station. The ratings just came out. We did well. I heard of him, never heard one song. Oh, is that right? Oh, wow. John McMillan, just heard that hockey player Steve Shutt introduced Geddy Lee to Alex Lifeson. What? Really? John? Steve Shutt? I remember Steve Shutt. Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, Barry, I hear what you're saying there about Starry Bear. If you got in trouble with the law and was interviewing David Lee Roth for 30 minutes or spending a week in jail, what would you pick? Oh, Starry Bear, you're just like, he's on. No, I'd interview David Lee Roth in a second. He's a great interview. Like I told you, there was a guy, he told me not to say his name because I think he was embarrassed by it. He was a DJ in LA. And I got to know him a little bit, and he said that he did an interview with David Lee Roth live on air, and David Lee Roth took over the interview. I told that to Bruce Hornsby, I remember, when I first interviewed Bruce Hornsby. I told Bruce I was nervous. And it was 92, Harbor Lights, what was that, 92? 93? And he sat down, and he said, don't be nervous with me, man, and I says, well, I was just telling someone the story, and I told him the story about the DJ in LA. And he says, he said David Lee Roth was a blankety blank poser in the beginning of the interview. I think it's online. I think we left that online. I'm pretty sure. By the way, John, where's Neil Thompson? Inside information. Where's Neil Thompson? Whatever happened to Neil? Is he still married to that gal? Mark Conzen, thank you for asking. Any artist? I've got tons of artists. Um, I, I've got so many. I'm actually going after Elton John. I thought, what the heck? I'm going to try. Why not? He's my all-time. You know, I think I mentioned on this one of the live feeds once. I contacted Robert Plant's manager. He got back to me in 5 minutes. He said, "Oh, sorry, yeah, he's not doing any press for these reissues of his solo albums." And I was nice. I'm going, well, I just talked to Robert Plant's manager. That's cool. Um, Ray Williams. Hold on a second. Let me just check if he's gotten back to me. Yeah, Ray Williams, who introduced, he didn't. We're going to talk about these. I interviewed Ray Williams twice, talked to him on the phone several times since then. We kind of became friends. He introduced Elton John to Bernie Taupin. And I emailed him a few weeks ago and I said, Ray, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to go after Elton John. Is there anything you can do for me? Who are the gatekeepers of, and I know the guy who runs Elton John's main editor for his website. I know a few people who write for him on the website, and I know these people. I know people who have met him, and I've interviewed a lot of Elton John's band members, but I thought, I'm going to go after Elton John. Why not? Well, what could, I was going to wait till I got 100,000 subscribers, but that's probably going to take a few months. And I thought, yeah. Ray Williams, by the way, is the guy who told me, he says, Ray Williams worked with Steelers Wheel, and he said Jerry he just couldn't get on stage unless he was drunk. He just couldn't do it. It's kind of sad, because Jerry Rafferty was a genius, Go Elton. Why not? Yeah, why not? But he was the guy who told me, I met Jerry Rafferty. He just couldn't do it. It's a sad thing. You can't go on stage unless you're, and obviously he had angst and stuff. Mark Boland. How about 1K for a new deluxe All Things Must Pass box set? Wow, I didn't know it was that. Really? 1K? Clayton, thank you. Does Elton still have, I don't think he has. He sold all that stuff. I think, was it Red Strikes Back? He had all the costumes in the front. He sold all that stuff at the auction. Yeah, Ryan White, Starry Bear, you're right. That was a tough thing. I know that, I'll say one thing. I know that Elton John's seen my face because I know firsthand that Elton John watched my Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and I was very sick. If you look up John Beaudin, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, look at my face. You can tell there's something not quite right. I was so ill. I had the worst cold. And but I thought I have to do this video because I can't wait that long. So it was the whatever anniversary of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And I know for a fact, and I was told that he had watched the video and enjoyed it. So that's something, that he saw. And it's nice that Dennis DeYoung, when he said, when the concert promoter said today that he actually specifically asked for you for the interview. And I went, wow, Dennis DeYoung seen my videos. That's really nice. You don't need approval from the old rock stars that you loved, but it's sure nice if you get it from people that you really respect. And I have a lot of respect for Dennis DeYoung. He's been on my bucket list for a long time. Okay, I got to wrap things up. I think people would be more open to talk to you than some hit job. Oh, okay. Well, the biggest compliment you can get when you're interviewing someone is at the end where they say, this didn't feel like an interview. And I think I've told you guys that lately I've been asking people, I'm going, where do we go when we die? Can you imagine out of nowhere? Oh, let's talk about Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Let's talk about, everyone talks about all the hits, and you have to. God, if I talk to Dennis DeYoung, if it happens on Monday, it looks like it will. He's got the Zoom invite. It's been sent to him. Of course, I have to ask him about the hits. I'd be remiss if I didn't. And the Styx thing and all that stuff. But out of nowhere now and then, like Richie, it started with Richie Furay. I said, Rusty's dead. Richie, you're a religious man. Where'd he go? Where's Rusty Young? Where do you think Rusty is? And he gave a beautiful answer from a religious man's point of view. It was just beautiful. Look it up. Look up Richie Furay, Rusty Young, John Beaudin, or Rock History Music. And I asked Mark Farner the same thing, not about Rusty, but about. And then I asked who else? A few other people. Where do we go? Like what happens? What do you think? You're not a young man anymore. Even me at 61, I'm thinking, I don't know what happens. So it's a refreshing question for someone. They might not want to answer that because they might be afraid to offend someone. But Felix Cavallari gave me a beautiful new agey kind of answer because he's not a religious guy. Who else did I forget? Almost everyone I've interviewed. I asked them that, and then I'm starting asking different questions. Then I'm going to put them all together and say, hey, we asked 10 musicians where we go, where we die. You don't think that's going to do well? People will be interested in that. Most people who like those musicians are, they're watching the clock. They're watching where they're going. We're all watching that. Like I said a while ago, we're being more discerning. We're being more careful who we hang around with because of how much years do we have left? 30? I get hit by a bus tomorrow. I get something tomorrow. I could have a heart attack tomorrow. So we're all looking at our time of going, let's make good use of it. Thank God. One good thing about COVID, it's made us be discerning. So that's what I like at the end of the interview when someone says, hey man, good questions. I really enjoyed this. This was fun, And I'm going, well, there you go. I got what I wanted. I got answers to great questions. And I got an hour. I remember when I interviewed Bruce Hornsby, I remember thinking, I think with both of my interviews, I might have spent an hour and a half. One's a phone or one's in person. I love Bruce Hornsby. And I'm going to try to get him again. His videos don't do that well on this channel, but still they do pretty well because a lot of people have respect. They know how good he is as a piano player and a writer and a vocalist. And I spent an hour and a half probably around of Bruce Hornsby's life. He spent it with me. I look at it that way. And I it doesn't mean you don't want to ask the hard questions. As most people know, I do ask those questions. But it's nice when, that's what makes my job a little easier when I go, well, hi, little dog. Look at this guy. You don't care what nobody says. Hi. You got plans? Got any plans tonight? He says, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a dog. Ronnie Hawkins. I should try to get Ronnie Hawkins. Greg Godovitz, who I interviewed from Gatto, knows him. Oh, John, did you talk to me about Neil Thompson? We'll talk. John, we'll talk about, I want to know where Neil is. Stick to the music in interviews is what I did. Yeah, you know what? The other questions do really well as well. They really do. And if you've been doing, after a while, you want to ask different types of questions. I get, not politics, but certainly the end of the line, certainly things that anyone in their 70s would be thinking about. Why not ask them that question? That's a big part of their lives. If I get, and I'm careful, I got to get the music questions first. I always get those. I just interviewed John Hall, and John Hall and I talked about what's on the other side, what's going on, why not, and a lot of them light up with that. It's like asking someone, when you ask someone, even if they're not that happily married, how did you meet her? How did you meet him? They always light up. Almost everyone lights up because it was a good time. It's a good memory. And sometimes when you ask a person, an artist who's used to the same 20 questions, something different, they light up. remember I told you the story about George Benson when I interviewed George Benson, and when I was the co-chair of the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards, which was a pretty big deal across the country. I was told he's a JW, Jehovah's Witness. I was told, and sorry for the people who've heard this story many times. If you feel he's getting tired, ask him about being a JW at the end of the interview, and you'll have him for another half hour. And I did, and he just lit up, and I said, well, I don't understand being a JW. I have nothing against, there's no universe where I become a Jehovah's Witness, but if it works for him, good, all the power to him, right? And he just lit up and told me stories. So sometimes asking someone a different types of questions. Graham Goebel was like that from Little River Band. I asked him about, there's a guy you want to talk about spirituality with. Holy moly. He's got this huge view of life after death, and it's not the Christian view. See, a lot of people think I'm Christian because I ask Christians about their faith. Why wouldn't I? It's a big part of their lives. If I've never come upon someone who didn't want to talk about it. And our Christian viewers always say, thanks, John, but I always preface it by saying, well, first of all, I'm not a Christian, but I'm a whatever gets you through the night thing. No one knows what's on the other side ultimately, right? If you find a faith that gives you peace, that helps you get connected to whatever brought us here, whether it's by accident or some big bang, I don't know. Okay, let me get through these, and I gotta go. Oh, good for you, Dan. Right on. 30 years in radio. It's a long time. And radio is a career that has one of the highest dropout rates of anything. I'm surprised I've been doing it for 38 years. It's crazy. James Bashir, think about that at times myself. I think we all do. When you're at an age where you're in your 50s and 60s, you have to think about, oh, have I done what I want to do? Have I accomplished everything? How is the attempt to Warner Designs? I have not. I contacted Toto's guy 2 weeks ago, and he told me to contact him again in June. And of course, we're well into June. Lee Aaron's still rocking. Toots, if I remember, I think her name is Karen. Her real name, I forget. People were referring to her as a different name. We were applying for a jazz station in Vancouver in 89. I was part of the panel that were going to the governing body, like the FCC in the US, the CRTC in Canada. And I was the representative music director for the supposed station we were applying. And what we had to do was contact musicians who did jazz, and she was doing jazz at that point. A lot of people might not know Lee Aaron, the rocker from Canada, went out of rock and roll and did jazz under the name Lee Aaron, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So I contacted her, and and we talked. We had a great conversation, and I said, "Can you write us a letter of support for?" I worked for the Chum Group with Polsky, who was a great general manager, legendary general manager in Canada. Always a fan of my broadcasting, which was really nice. And she says, I can't, John, because I've got to go for, I think, the Gary Slate Company. She says, if I don't go with them, they've played my rock stuff forever, they'll stop playing it. She says, I don't know that for sure, but they might stop playing it. Gary Slate owned the company. And I went, I can't blame her, but that's the only conversation I ever had with Lee Aaron. But we talked for about an hour. It was really nice. I could never ask Phil Collins about his marriages. I wouldn't either. Dan, you're right. Dan, do you still have your interviews, all your interviews? Why don't you put them online? Did you put them online? Floyd the Barber. Most people, unless they worked for a pretty crazy company, they let you keep your interviews. A lot of people didn't even think of keeping them. That's the thing. No, Floyd the Barber. I did not ask George Benson. I wasn't asking people that then. The style of interviews, and Dan could probably add to that. I think the style of your interviews change as you get older. You become more comfortable in your body. That's why, when Eddie Van Halen died, I did the tribute video, but then I came right back on, and we got like 50,000 hits right away. I came on and talked about death because I'm an older guy now, and I've like a lot of you, I've lost a lot of people in my life, and I've read a lot of books on, not that it's important with Eddie Van Halen, NDEs, near death, and where do we go when we die, and how to grieve relationships. And I just felt comfortable. I thought, yeah, I'm pretty well versed in this area. I can talk about that. And I thought, I'm not going to just talk about the hits. I'm going to talk about how a death of a celebrity like that, or a musician in general, especially such an innovator like him, affects us. And the video did incredibly well. But in that case, I just wanted to talk about grief, I think, a lot. I felt grief when John Lennon died. I felt the grief when Brad Delp of Boston died. Dan Page, there is so much great musicians in Canada, yes. They disintegrated, Dan. FM, Nash the Slash is dead. You know, I asked Don Brewer of Grand Funk, Dan, if he had ever heard Nash the Slash's version of I'm an American Band. He didn't say we're an American band. His was I'm an American Band. And he never had. I said, you don't know that Nash the Slash recorded that song? And Don Brewer said, no, I've never heard it. I said, you got to look it up, man. He recorded your song. So he had no idea. I couldn't believe it. Toots saw Lee Aaron at the Low Tide in the 90s, where she scantily clad. She had it. That was kind of her gimmick. Love your stuff, John. Thank you, Al Broderick. Warner Designs. John, just want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you very much. We do confirm the Canadians are the nicest people. We are pretty nice. Dan, most of mine are in reel to reel from the 80s because I got into radio in 83. And that's why on some of my interviews, I've got the big Studer reel to reel beside me. That thing sells for like 10 grand on the market. My first program director, I know some of you have heard this story, sold it to me for $1,000. It's a monster heavy thing, but it's a beautiful, not mint, but it's in amazing shape. Dan, do you put them on your page? Oh, there you go, a gatekeeper. Karen Greening, that's her name. I remember people were calling her Karen. I'll check out your page. Actually, I'll check it out right now. How do I? Hold on. No. Why is it asking me that? No, it's asking me, Dan, if I want to add you as moderator. Dan, I'll check out your channel. So you have interviews on your channel, Dan? That's a definitive yes. Go check out Dan Page. It's just called Dan Page. No, I cannot yet. Okay. Dan, you got to put them up. That's gold, man. That's gold stuff. And we also buy interviews, by the way, if you ever want to sell any of your interviews. Okay, you said no. If you ever want to sell interviews, anyone has interviews or know a DJ with interviews. We inherited a few hundred interviews from a guy named Steve Burgess. He just gave them to us. But Steve was my best friend. I used to hang out with Steve every single day. So he gave me all his interviews. And one day I said, if you give me your interviews, you give me your interviews. It might be worth something someday. He said, no, I don't want them. I'm moving into a place. And I said, okay, Steve. Possession, 9/10 of the law. If you give me your interviews, I own them then. And he says, yeah, no problem. So anyway, he gave him a whole bunch of 80s interviews to me. Level 42, the Beach Boys. Peter Cetera is the only interview I put up of his. I have to transfer them digitally. Okay, no problem. Toots. The Low Tide crowd was crazy that night when Lee Aaron did her show. She dressed in black leather pants and a leather vest. Yeah, of course you did. Dan Page, I have a Roxy Music interview. Oh, you have Phil and Brian Ferry. Oh, God. Phil Manzanera. Yeah, he's great guitarist. Al Broderick, last month I purchased the whole catalog of Spoon's albums. I was Blown away how good the deep tracks are. Yes. What was the lady's name? Were they a couple? The two main people in the Spoons? I forget her name. What was her name? Not Terry, was it? What was her name? Man, talented, beautiful, madly in love with that girl. Steve B started these rectangular spectacles trend in Vancouver. I have no idea what that means. Dan Page, love the Spoons. Dan, are you on Facebook? Sorry, Bear. Susie Quattro, I like her. She was fun to watch. I'm going to try to track her down. Her management company sends me a lot of interviews. So Susie Quattro, um, I should track her down. Oh yeah, Sandy Horn. That's right. Thank you, Al. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys, man. You guys are the best. Poison Perfume. I don't remember Poison Perfume. I remember my ex-girlfriend, Carrie. She's a principal she's done really well. Principal in Portland, Oregon. Carrie Montgomery. Real nice girl. Just, ah, loved her. Still a good friend of mine. Carrie, what did she wear? I forget she used to wear this perfume. It's still my favorite. And Shannon bought some because she said, oh, you love it so much. But she said, it's kind of an old woman's perfume. I says, I know, but it'll come to me. It's such a great, it's an 80s. I still like Obsession. I've still got 2 bottles of Obsession perfume in here from the 80s, in the bathroom, in the ensuite here. Oh, they split as a couple in 84. Thank you. Love the information. Oh, it almost came to me. Oh, an 80s perfume. Okay, Dan, I'm going to look you up. But you have a regular Facebook page, Dan? Or is that your Facebook page? Again, anyone who wants to be my friend on Facebook, guys, no problem. If you support me, obviously, I know you better in that way than I know some people that I friended, like I said a while ago, 10 years ago, who I never communicate with, right? So anybody wants to look me up, I'm easy to find on Facebook. Don't join, by all means, join the John Beaudin broadcaster page. But if you want to Facebook, be Facebook friends. Oh, Brute 33, all the girls. Obsession, not Obsession. No, that's mine. Oh, what was the name of that perfume? She used to wear it. I loved it. I bought some for her. A very 80s woman's perfume. Old Spice over Brute 33 all day. Steven, you guys are funny. Okay, Dan, I'll Facebook. Yeah, try to find me. Just I should come up right away. I'm not. It's not easy to not Charlie. Yeah. Oh God, what was it called? Hold on. You guys want wait? I'll get it for you for sure. You guys will laugh. Hold on. Hey Shan, what's that perfume that Carrie used to wear? You had some, remember? No. Old lady, you said it was old lady perfume. No, I'm still on. We're talking about perfume. Oh, she doesn't remember. I thought she'd remember. No, Chanel number 5. No. Oh God, it was one word. It was one word. Oh, I still now and then I'll pass by someone, not only an old lady, that wear. Hold on, just give me a second. I'm going away again. See, I've got it. Still got it. I can't wear a lot of perfume anymore. Kind of, but I love this stuff. But Chantilly, was that a perfume? You guys are trying to help me here. How do we get to women's perfume? I'm spitting. Sorry. You guys are trying White Shadows. No, I haven't heard the new Sticks. Has it been out for a while? Gatekeeper, channel number 5. What happened? I just went away. White Shoulders. I don't remember the Charlie's commercial. Chantelli, hi, John. I don't know Pulsar Lights, but you're a funny guy. John Robinson, thank you for all your hard efforts of your broadcast. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Starry Bear. It's the perfume. Oh, Sex Panther. Remember that? Oh God, that's so funny. When she, when what's her name from Married with Children smells it. Hi from Montreal. The Zippo 42. Hi. I was born in Montreal. 1960. Today is your brute day. Yeah. 2-stroke oils, gas fumes on a skidoo. Got girls going around. Oh, Sex Panther. That's so funny. Obsession, of course. No, well, that's not what I was trying to figure out. Jane Sweedler says, we just had a 5.76 earthquake. Where are you, in LA? Are you in LA? I've only felt a major earthquake once in Vancouver. No luck on the. I'll circle back for the David Page interview. I talked to him last month. He says, talk to me. He's not available in May. Talk to me in June. Oh, is that right? Psychedelic first. Yeah. It's made with bits of real panther, you know. You're so funny. Oh, you're in Costa Rica. Wow. I am Mantis. I also have an interview with Terry David Mulligan. Yeah, but do you own it? Wouldn't that be Terry David Mulligan's interview? Well, it would be the outlet that he worked for. And if they let it go, chances are it's your interview. But mind you, unless he gave it to you. For the Barbara. I remember those commercials. Costa Rica is the place to be. Well, I've never interviewed Boss Gags. I have tried. Toots, zipper everywhere on the Panther ski suit. Maybe we used to call them skidoo suits in New Brunswick. Good Rockin' Tonight, Al Broderick. Yeah, I remember Good Rockin' Tonight. Pulsar Lights, Pacific Rim of Fire, Conspiracy Theory. Oh, conspiracy theories are really interesting. Don't get me wrong. They're so incredibly interesting. You know, and I can understand why people are interested in it. I remember when I was really big into spirituality, and you know, when you turn off the lights really quickly, you see little stars, you see little dots. You ever see those when you first start? You're in total darkness, and you look up into the sky, and my optometrist explained that to me, and I said I used to tell him, yeah, but I see them long time after the lights are off. And he said, well, that's not as normal. He had told me. Trevor is working on some new music, Trevor Horn, so we could get him. But anyway, I was deeply into spirituality. I remember going, I'm connecting with something. You know, I'd be really deep into meditation, and I was very, very disciplined. So when I think of conspiracy theories, I always think of people. I'm going, when I was into Bible prophecy, I'm not a Christian anymore, but when I was into Bible prophecy, I used to, look for the Antichrist and do things, and look at Revelations and read Revelations. And I was really into that. And I remember thinking, I'm on the inside of something, because that's kind of a conspiracy thing too. I remember back then people were thinking Juan Carlos of Spain was the Antichrist, or Rajiv Gandhi, because they called him Computer Giant. He's dead now too. Rajiv Gandhi, like his mother's dead rather. He's the Antichrist, and all kooky stuff like that. I remember one time I just said, I'm tired. I can't do these things. And read Hal Lindsey books. I was reading all the Hal Lindsey books, and I'm going, Hal Lindsey's a little out there. He's crazy. And I just stopped it, and I got into spirituality more. But I understand a conspiracy thing, because I understand it's juicy. It's interesting. You feel like you're on the inside of something whenever people get into conspiracy theories, they really feel like, oh, I know something no one else knows or very few people know. I understand. Um, oh, thank you, Stephen. Yeah, my doctor probably told me that. You get into the dark light and you go, oh, look, these are all spirits. And you realize most people can see these little dots, when they're in the, I'd go into the hot bath and turn off my lights and I go, oh, there's my spirit guides. And then I started going, maybe I should investigate that a little bit more. Chances are I'm not the only one who sees these little dots when I turn off the lights, right? But that kept me going for a little while. I interviewed Paul Sarlight's Uli John Roth, one of my favorite interviews. Such a nice guy. I love his accent. Um, and we talked about Hendrix, but I decided not to ask him, and I'm familiar with the story, about his ex and the Jimi Hendrix thing. I just decided not to. Chariots of the Gods, yeah. I remember Chariots of the Gods very well. Satan, Floyd the Barber. Well, yeah, that's strange. If it doesn't make any sense, I mean, I always say you got to have friends around you that can kind of shake you up a little bit. Like I told you, there's a fairly popular singer that I'm friends with. I'm friends with a few, not a lot. Most of them, just interviews, that just believes in stuff. And I love the man. I just love him. But he, I don't know. We can't talk about politics at all. But I love the guy. I just love him. In spite of all that, I still do. Anyway, guys, I've got to roll. 47 people still on here. God. Oh, no, it went down to 42. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Shannon was going to come on screen, but she didn't. She wasn't feeling 100% because of her broken foot. Her foot, on the sole underneath her foot, it's still like black and blue. It's weird. But yeah, a lot of pain there. She's getting better. Shannon is starting. It didn't take a lot of prompting. And it wasn't because if you look up my name, the first thing that underneath it comes up, things frequently looked up around my name is John Beaudin's wife. I go, what? Someone sent it to me. I don't know who it was. Who was it that sent it to me? I forget. Someone said to me, said, did you know that if you look up your name on Google, the most asked questions, the first one is John Beaudin's wife? I went, well, people like my wife. That means they've looked her up a lot. So Shannon's starting, and she's always wanted to do this, but she wasn't sure she wanted to do it because it's a lot of work. She's starting an 80s channel because she's really big into 80s music, really, really big into it. So she's starting a channel, and she's just going to do, she's doing research on it now. And it might be Shannon goes back to the 80s. I don't know what, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much. And for the folks who super chatted us, thank you. I appreciate that. All the money we get from super chats, we put towards good stream. Thank you. Oh yeah, have a nice weekend, Al Broderick. Thank you. Thank you for your input. I appreciate that, Al. Pulsar lights. That's a default setting. Dan Page. Thank you, John. I look forward to watching more. Dan, let's connect on Facebook, right? Anybody, not just for Dan, anybody wants to connect with me on Facebook, write me a little note if you can. Just write me a little messenger note just to remind me that, because if I see someone wanting to Facebook friend me on Facebook and we don't have friends in common, a lot of times I just go, well, that's just some random person, right? But yeah, just write me a little note on Messenger. Say, hey, John, I'm one of the. I just want to be. Let's hook up on. I watch your videos or whatever, and we'll become friends on Facebook. Why not? You get a different side of my life on there. A lot of pictures and stuff, and I can get to know you as well. That's the nice thing. I can get to know you on a slightly different level. So, guys, be safe, take care of yourself. We're getting out of this crazy land that we've been living in the last year and a half, but take good care of yourself. I never say that enough. See ya.